charge it. Alright. Oh man, we didn't get the mount. That sucks. What the fuck? It's got like a... This is like a fucking Elden Ring boss. This is insane. Ooh, the damage is real. Damn, I shouldn't have done that because I wasn't powered up. But he's dead either way. Fuck it. GG. At least I fought it with the switch axe in the beta, so I'm kind of used to fighting it with the switch axe. Take that as a W. Yo, bro, I'm winning. Welcome, welcome, Valium boy. We just fucking rocked. Wait, did you just did you just do what I think you did, Valium boy? Wait, did you jump onto Twitch to ban that guy who just hooded the bot? You fucking tried! You fucking tried! Oh my god! 1% to 148. Yeah, fucking the turnaround. Oh shit! I'm gonna die. As always, remember, if you can't say fuck you to your friends, who can you say fuck you to? Fuck you! Happy, were you flirting with that cat? New game plus thing, or like high rank thing, but Slay 10 high rank Balakchi! They are high rank. It's a mystery how they got it. Oh well, I know that they're high rank, which means maybe I need to actually be killing low rank. Yes! Okay, well we got it. See, I was just in high rank and I should have been in low rank. Was this one, right? Yeah. That looks badass. We're going to smash this chicken. What you mean by that? I have a hammer! Ooh, the spin to win, the spin to win, the spin to win! He's down! The chicken. There you go, K Valiant boy. Get your ass on Twitch. Ban that motherfucker.
That guy right there. That guy is on fire. You can totally tell. What the?
Crap, he's stealing our hiding place.
Dude, bail! Come on!
I can't! The seatbelt is jammed.
Why did you buckle it? Why would you do that?
I don't know!
Thank you so much, Amy Bates, for the subscription, for gifting a sub. That is fucking amazing. Thank you so much. I love that clip so much. It's so good. Remember, as always, if you can't say fuck you to your friends, who can you say fuck you to? Fuck you. Any 5 options. Western country. Austria. Nope. Portugal. Closer. Think more north. Netherlands? More east. Spain? A little bit south. Norway. That's too far north. You can't? What's between Mongolia and India? I am fighting a spider called Lullabarina. I mean, it's not bad. It's not good, but it's not bad, right? It's fucking rigged! How do you keep hitting 1? Okay, a Lullabarina with 115 HP, it's almost dead. Fucking kill it. Kill the Lullabarina! Smash! Oh shit! Oh shit!
J_J_Robinson rated me streaming with 3 viewers.
Damn! Thank Thank you for the raid, Levi. How's it going, good sir? Because his movements are so fucking weird. I don't understand where he's gonna attack from half the time. I'm like, seriously, bro. Just let me kill you. What do you mean? Look at the damage I'm doing to a monster. If 44 damage is totally reasonable. You can't say fuck you to your friends. Who can you say fuck you to? Fuck you. No, but I should. I really should say fuck you to him all the time. Fuck you, Muffin. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? He's trying to be like this mentoring father figure. A character flaw that Husai has to get over. Convince me that you're strong-willed enough to be able to sit back and watch things unfold until the moment that you need to rise. And Zayd reluctant... Yo, yo, yo! We back, boys! I'm gonna be doing some more StarCraft today because Group D is out. But first, we have a little treat to start off with. That's a little loud. It's always a little loud. But yeah, so Secure Team also came out with a new video. So we'll watch this one first, and then we will watch the ASL. And depending upon how I feel, I want to do a long stream, but we'll see how it goes. For now, it is what it is, right? Put my smile on, right? Yeah. So, without ado, let's saunter into it, guys. Here we go.
Hey, what's up guys? Tyler back with Secure Team. Hope you guys are having a great night. So this is sort of an update to my last video, and if you guys haven't seen that yet, please head over, show your boy some love, and check it out. The algorithm has been definitely hitting me hard view-wise when it comes to recommending my stuff and notifying you guys. Big surprise. But if you haven't seen it, a couple days ago, just to recap, I dropped this video exposing two really strange, really anomalous UFOs that were captured in back-to-back Apollo 12 moon mission photos. And these were within high-resolution scans, the best that you can find online. And we're not talking copies of copies. We're talking about the best you can pretty much find. Because in that video, I showed you the first discovery that I had made, which was in the form of this fiery reddish-orange triangle formation of lights hovering above the moon up in space. And then, right after that, in the very next frame, taken just a few seconds later during the Apollo 12 mission, I also showed you this really anomalous bowling pin-shaped glowing white UFO that appeared up in the sky, likewise found in frame scan number AS12-46-6849. So we have scan 48, scan 49, taken just seconds apart. And those alone, I think you guys would agree, was pretty wild enough, right? Well, tonight I decided to go back and dig around on the same website, and I went back to the same original images that featured the anomalies in my last video. And I wanted to see if maybe, just maybe, there was anything else captured around the same time. And well, sure enough, there was. And it was pretty easy because I went to the webpage, brought up the image which featured this fiery orange formation of triangular lights, and I simply looked at the frame taken just before it. That's where I found within photo scan number AS12-46-6847, found in the upper right-hand part of the image just above the moon. As with the other UFOs, what I found has blown me away, just sitting in the darkness of space above the moon's horizon. Now at first, it looks just like a bright pixel or a flash of light, But when I zoomed in and enhanced the image, just using basic contrast and exposure adjustments, it revealed something way more compelling, because this wasn't just a white flash of light. As you are now seeing, what was easily brought out with a little bit of adjustment, sitting almost dead center inside of this glow, is what appears to me to be a perfect metallic spherical object, like a polished silver bowling ball, if you will. I don't know what's up with all my bowling analogies, but imagine a highly reflective metallic ball of some kind, or a sphere, literally, as you're seeing in this photo, appears to be emerging from the light source. And then get this, above the glowing orb and this white light that it seems to be coming out of, there are these two strange vertical streaks of light, one of them red in color and one in green. And so, I don't know, this could be chromatic aberration from the Hasselblad camera lens used at the time, or maybe it could be something else entirely. I don't know. I'm not ruling anything out, but to me, it almost looks like this sphere is coming out of something, like a portal or a wormhole, or who knows, some dimensional rift. And what's even crazier, in the very next photo, we get the reddish-orange, fiery triangle formation of lights. Then, just a few seconds later, in the next photo snapped after that, the anomalous bowling pin UFO, both of which, as I said, were featured in my last video more in depth. And so, it's like a sequence, you know, first the portal and the sphere, which is obviously highly reflective. You can see that in the photo. This thing looks like it's reflecting light, it's reflecting the moon, and it doesn't require much explaining. All caught by one of the Apollo 12 astronauts within seconds of each other. So, yeah guys, this is just a quick update video, and I will leave you guys with the zoomed in and enhanced versions from a few different angles and lighting passes here, but you can check out the original NASA scan for yourself. The link is down in the video description. Let me know what you guys think this is. Is it all connected? What is that sphere? Is it technology? Is it a craft? Is it something coming through a breach in space? Drop your theories in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. As always, subscribe, stay tuned, follow me on all of my social media. You can find down in the video description. That way you'll know
Secure Team 10.
Video.
Let's go. All right. Hell yeah. Fuck, man, it feels so good to be back. The ASL!
Hello and welcome to Group D of the round of 24 of ASL Season 19 on this very last day of March. Last week in the opening round of the tournament, we had some results that took an unexpected turn.
Yes,
as
man! Scan got in!
Looks to be completed throughout the next 3 days of play this week.
Fucking
Let's
excited
have a
the
word with
scan
our 4
got
players
in.
ahead of Group D. Hello, good to have you here. First up, Tier 1 player Light. Hello. Hello. For the first time in a while, you qualify for the main tournament, having had to go through day 2 of the qualifiers.
Yeah, Light kind of got
And not
smoked.
dropping a single map in those qualifiers on the second day. You're waiting to play in the tournament proper. What were the qualifiers like for you? It's probably because I hadn't played in the qualifiers for so long that it didn't go well, but
He's just
I
getting
thought I would get
cheesed the
knocked
shit out.
and
Like, we
thanks to
watched,
that,
I
made it
watched
through day 2.
the qualifiers, all of them casted by
With you having
Artosis. At
warmed
least
up
all the VODs that he
sufficiently
was
in the
given.
qualifiers and seeing Group D, considering how good you are in TVP and with the possibility of you playing a number of TVP matches today, there are predictions that this should be a really easy group for you. What's your take on this? If I were to play the way I normally do, it would be easy. But recently I've had a bit of a harder time and I've lost confidence. I'm also curious to hear how you'd rate the difficulty of playing TVP against Tyson and Bisu. What are your thoughts? I've lost a bunch against Bisu in best of 1 in the past. I think he's demanding. For Tyson, It's hit or miss. The die can either come up with a 6 or a 1. It's tough to predict. I thought we had played before, so I looked it up. And we did. In season 13, we were in the same group. I remember barely making it out. I don't think today will be easy either. A Protoss who does really well, and a Protoss who is difficult to predict. Even a seasoned player like Light is not expecting today to be easy.
The creator of
who has made his return after a while. Hello. Hello. It's been 3 years since ASL Season 13 as you make your return to the offline stage. How are you feeling? It was tough qualifying. It was difficult to grab this seat here. I want to stay for long, but it's not easy nowadays. You did, however, take down JYJ in the qualifiers.
Yeah, JYJ's not in freaking. It's been like 8 years since JYJ's not in.
Going into this season. Yeah, I'm confident.
Standing on the shoulders of Titans.
He's having a hard time nowadays. Focus more. Oh, Light is also struggling physically because you're coming here with confidence in regards to PVT. If you were to advance today, which place do you expect to advance in? If I advance, it'll be in first place. Because it's best of one? Yes, yes. Tyson says he has a chance of winning. Let's follow up with Tier 2 player Bisu.
Light's like, yeah, I'm not letting that shit happen. Fuck that.
Day one of the qualifiers and the first group as
it's like
well.
Queen didn't make it in. It's like, man, there must be, there have to be a lot of new upcoming players that, like, every season there's a new guy who's just not in it, who's been in it forever, and then some guy like Scan who gets actually into the round of 16.
I played a lot and I'm in good shape.
Bruh should just hit a Zerg rush. Yeah, exactly, male. Welcome, welcome. How's it going, bro?
I've seen you on stream in quite some time, and so many fans will be curious as to how you're doing nowadays. What have you been up to? I've been under the weather. I'm getting older and I can feel it in my bones.
He's gotta be like 34 or 35 now.
So anyway,
he's probably older
I've
than me.
taken some time off. I got better. I'm feeling better. I plan on streaming again. I'll advance today and stream. I bet a lot of fans will be hoping for a good result from you today then. Let's have a word.
I'm good, thanks. Keeping it creamy. How are you?
Hi.
Just chilling, you know.
To the ASL after a year.
I figured ASL would be a perfect thing because
I wonder as to
I
how
love
you're
StarCraft
this season.
So fuck it. We're doing it.
What are my feelings? You know, I'm not really one to practice as much.
Because last time I just did it because like my throat hurt because I was
with
sick. But now I'm like, fuck it, I don't care. Let's just do it.
Is there a reason behind you
convert
not
you guys to
practicing as much?
StarCraft
Is that
players?
You're already feeling confident? I normally do practice, but this time we also had a university match that I had to oversee, had to help with, so I didn't have as much time on my hands. I can believe that you've run some mental simulations ahead of this anyway. You did make it out in first place in Season 16 after all. So there will be fans expecting you to
But it's the
throw
weekend
some
for me
punches
now,
today.
so we'll see how it goes.
What are your own expectations? Let's start with, this is not an easy group for me, but I have confidence regardless, and you never know how a best of one will go. It's good people have these expectations for me. If you were to throw one punch, who is the opponent to take that punch? My first opponent
Going to
here is
Vancouver in
Bisu,
July, bro.
any case.
It's become so expensive compared to a few years ago.
Be good, methinks?
True. I moved from
He's
Vancouver in
not practiced as
2020.
much, and yet he feels confident going up
That's
against
pretty much where I
Bisu,
grew up.
says Killer. Can't wait to see this match. Let's keep talking about Group D now. As Light has just said, we already had a group in Season 13 with Light, Tyson, and Bisu, with the exception that instead of Killer, there was Satsui. So quite a similar group as today. I wonder how Tyson feels looking at this group. What memories are left of that? Whenever I make it through the qualifiers, it's always tough players. But Light and Bisu, they are just at the very peak.
Yeah, Vancouver's one of the most
easy.
expensive places.
It's not easy, but I'll do my best. A vicious group for yourself, you're saying? Yeah. Got it. Now, the Tier 1 and 2 players in this group always play well against their respective opposing races, which makes many predict there's going to be a fierce match between the two. While Light took down Bisu 4-2 in the round of 4 in Season 13, their head-to-head is an even 4-4.
Hotel I was at last time is
If you were to
450
end up
instead of
meeting
250.
today-
Jesus.
How do you guys think the match would go? Light?
Yeah, that's about what it is, man. It's fucking insane
know.
up here.
It's been a while since we last played. Recently, last time, I lost. I got caught off guard by a surprise strategy. I'm curious as to what he prepared, how he prepared for today. I can't make a prediction. As you say you're curious, from your expression I'm reading, bring it on, go ahead and try, with a sort of confidence. Bisu, if you were to play Light today, with how fiercely you've competed in the past, how do you expect today to go? Thinking about it, I would lose in extended series and beat him in best of 1. And to expand on that, I pretty much always won the opening game in the round of 24 and the round of 16 alike. So my best of 1 has been strong. Today, what gets me worried a little bit is I took a bit of a rest, so I don't know Light's condition, his strength. Oh, it's tough for you to predict that? Yeah, that's one thing. It feels to me you need to use the match against Killer to get yourself in top shape. But
Unnatural Disaster,
Killer's
welcome,
perspective,
welcome. How
he
is it
likely wants to
going,
get
bro?
payback
Welcome
on
back to the
you,
stream.
Bisu, as well. Now, it was a while ago.
How are you, good
7 years
sir?
ago, in Season 4.
We were
in the
watching
round of 8.
StarCraft ASL,
The Killer
Season
lost
19,
0-3
boys,
to
Group D.
Bisu. It was decided very quickly that day. Killer, you must
It's good, I'm
have
at work right
sufficient
now.
aspirations
It's brutal, I just
to
got
take
off work a
Bisu
couple
down.
hours ago.
But me bringing up this history between you,
It's my Friday, though,
is that also
so
some extra
no work
motivation?
tomorrow.
Oh, it was so long ago, I can't
So we got a
remember it
massive
well.
list of shit we
But
gotta do for the
because Bisu
stream
is much
tomorrow.
older than he was then,
Such
I
as
will try and get him this
all
time.
of those variations
Oh, he's not
for
that old.
alerts.
Oh, compared to then.
As well as I want to do a bunch of new
let me rile you
emotes.
up more.
I got like a whole list
That
of
game-
emotes that I want to do.
That game didn't even take 1 hour. It was 37 minutes, 51 seconds.
And new
that victory was
commands.
decided.
And
Are
new
you trying
items
to
in
make
the
me feel
shop.
bad? No, I'm trying to motivate you. Oh, I see. Okay, I'll try my best
We'll,
today.
we'll,
then.
we'll, we'll get some
Can't wait
advanced
to see
stuff
what
done
Rocket's
tomorrow.
Tier 4 and Tier 3 players will cost today. Let's close things out with final words. of
Tomorrow
resolution
night's stream
from
is
each of
going
you.
to be
Light,
ballin'.
a new season is starting after a while. I want to do well. I want to aim higher than the round of 8. I want to get to the semi-finals, the finals. Looking forward to it. Tyson, I'll do my best. Good. Bisu, I practiced a lot. Please expect good things. I'll advance and come back to streaming.
Hell
wait.
yeah,
And
BC.
Killer, I'll make sure he doesn't stream again. Okay.
PVZ,
Looking forward to
man,
great
it's
games from the four of
scary.
you.
But
Thanks for the
Bisu
interview.
was the inventor of the Corsair, man.
And that does it for the opening interview with the 4
Currently
players of
writing
Group D
a
of the
new
round of
snippet
24.
to share for the Discord.
Let's kick things off and see
Ooh!
which
Which
two
reminds me,
will
I
stay
never
alive in
open the
Group D to
Discord
advance
because
to
it's
the round
not
of
set to
16
open when
and fight another day.
I log in or when I turn on my computer. I'm terrible with like social media and shit like that.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Group D of the ASL.
Hell
Season
yeah!
19. It was an amazing
Toasters!
week. We got all the way through Groups A through C. We're coming back strong here with 3 more days before we go into the round of 16.
I do love the round of 24 for that. And you know what else I love it for, Tasteless? Is the craziness of best of ones. And I think that
Yeah,
this
no one's
group
posted anything on there.
triple underlines the craziness
Discord's
of best
dead!
of ones
Don't forget
better
to join
than
the
any other.
Discord,
If these were best of
guys!
3 matchups, I would give like 85 to 90% chance of Light and Bisu both getting out. But because it's best of 1, I'm like, there's
Yeah,
so
best
many
of
upsets that
1
happen.
is like, oh my
Tyson
god,
is
it's
really
scary as
good
fuck.
against Terran. Killer is just really good in general. Obviously, Bisu and Light are much better players, but in a best of 1, anything here could happen.
This is one of the brutal things about
Yeah, don't
best
forget to
of
follow
ones
the
in general,
YouTube
right?
or
Like,
subscribe to the
in an
YouTubes
ASL,
and, you know,
anybody
all
can
that
take
shit.
a game off anybody, generally speaking. There's very few exceptions to that. Maybe Flash or Sulky being the kind of players that are almost immune to any kind of cheese. So
do I have this one?
yeah, I agree 100% with what you were saying, Artosis. Like, Light and
think I have
Bisu
him
are
here.
supposed to advance, right? If
No,
either
I
of
don't
these
know
two
about the
players don't
Discord.
advance, it's one of the biggest upsets.
It's
in the
not in
entire
there, is
round of
it?
24.
No.
But
I need to add
Killer and
Discord
Tyson
to
are
that
good.
one.
They could absolutely pull something off.
They are really legit. You know, in fact, I would say that the most one-sided matchup in this group might be if Killer and Tyson play. I don't think Tyson's going to be able to take him out, but like everything else.
There
I
it
can
is.
see going
There's the
any
link for
way.
the Discord.
I do think that Bisu's
But
in
it's
great
on,
shape in PvT right now. Light is always
There we
on
go.
top of his game.
It's not going to have
yeah,
as
I
much
think it's gonna be a
action
really
as the
fun
first
group.
one, but it'll be really good. Hell yeah, Natural Disaster.
I'm very excited to have
Action doesn't
Light and
necessarily
Bisu back
mean
here,
anything.
Two huge
You know,
fixtures.
half the
with
time
modern
action's
StarCraft.
just kind of bullshit.
Both of these guys
Filler.
kind of not, I think,
You
going
know?
as far as you and I expected, Artosis, in the last
more of
couple
the-
of years.
the
Lights looked amazing, but
clickbait.
when Flash had to step down, it wasn't exactly like
Best
Light just took
of
his place
one
as number
feels
one.
a bit like
In fact,
RNG,
it was really,
especially like it
several
was in
other
I think Group
Terrans
B
that
and
rose up, and
ZVZ.
managed to kind of fight for that position of who's top dog, and we've had a lot of really great seasons of really interesting Terran games, and Bisu as well is somebody who, you know, he's definitely been more consistent than Jaedong, but not able to be in the form that he was in like 2007, 2008.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
still
like he
put,
said, he's
though,
feeling
those
like he's
two
getting
as,
old,
like,
man.
Honestly, I think
That's
Light is
unfortunate.
probably overall the strongest Terran, and I think a lot of Terran players
Until
think that.
Flash comes
a lot of people look to Light
back!
for how to play, but his style maybe doesn't line up
But
with
apparently
ASL
Flash is
all
also
that well, so he
still
hasn't had
sustaining
that.
injuries,
Like Rush's
so
style lines up
he
better.
had to get a
He's
plate
more
removed
willing
from his
to
arm.
mix in some more aggressive plays, some more greedy plays, that type of thing, whereas Light tries to
But
grind
he
you
might
out,
be
which
back
doesn't
for
always
season
work
20.
in small
You never
prepared
know.
matches.
It's Flash.
And as far as Bisu, like, if it wasn't for how well Flash has performed in this new era of StarCraft, then we would all be worshiping Bisu, because he has been like a top
100%.
3 or 4 Protoss in the world.
Outshadowed
basically
by
this
the
entire
giant
time. And I'll
himself,
be honest
the
with you,
GOAT,
Jesus, he's
Flash.
one of my almost
The
somewhat
greatest
dark
gamer
horse
of all
picks
time. You
to
think
take
you
the
think
season.
Faker
He's
is
in
good? No,
really
man,
good
Flash.
shape. He is
Flash is
grinding
the
a lot.
god
He's playing
gamer.
a ton of games right now.
God GOAT.
Bisu looks very, very good.
Yeah, that's a good point. The narrative is kind of screwed up because Bisu, look, he was like the best Protoss when Flash was
He
the best Terran, but
invented
Flash has
how to
been
play
kinda taking all the oxygen
PvZ.
out of StarCraft
Yeah.
1
With
for,
Corsairs.
a decade plus
To
period
take
of
out
time
Muse,
by
because
just not
Protoss was
losing
so
that.
fucked.
It's funny, you're right. Bisu from the early days, basically the pre-StarCraft 2 era, he's been the best player.
Yeah.
The guy that was successful back then is still able to hang with the best now.
Yeah.
So that is a great way to kind of bring it into perspective here.
Well, this first match is actually one I'm really excited about. Light here, you know, he's for Terran players, man. Like, if you don't actively play Terran and study Terran all the time, I feel like your opinion of Light isn't as high as anyone who does do that, because he is the ultimate macro Terran. Like, his macro is not worse than Flash's, just to put this out there. But, you know, his build order diversity and some of his decision making might not be quite Flash level, but he's like unbelievably good. He's so great to study. But Tyson is flying under the radar hard. He is the reason why JYJ is not in this tournament. He smashed him in the qualifiers on day 2 and was able to get in. His PvT is really, really good.
I might go as far as to say that Light's style does almost feel a little bit older
Yeah.
compared to the other Terrans. And that might sound weird because, you know, he's been so good in the modern age, but yeah, it's more of like a muscle Terran almost.
Yeah.
You know, like he's gonna lift the heaviest weights. He's just gonna kind of hold off all your attacks, and eventually he's gonna bench press you into the, you know, the next season of ASL as he moves on to the round of 16.
Yeah.
We're actually going to this game already, guys. Light versus Tyson, best of 1 on Eclipse. Let's do this.
Damn, those
Okay,
cheers are real.
Tyson here in the bottom left.
No, top right.
I'm sorry, Light here in the bottom left, excuse me, is Terran. Tyson in the bottom right.
Top right.
Top right.
Tasteless.
What is going on with me?
I don't know,
Start
man.
the cast over. I can't do it tonight, guys.
I hope they do some deep macro builds.
Tasteless is fucking high.
I hope I mentioned deep macro builds when nobody is actually going for Nexus first here. Appreciate you guys in the audience. Canada, excellent. My
Hell
favorite
yeah,
coast from
representing.
I'm not from here, Tasteless.
there.
Unless
From
you're
there,
talking
Joseph,
about
went back
someone
home.
else.
That's where you came up with the idea for Crazy Zerg, man.
Crazy Zerg. Oh my god. Oh my
Oh,
god.
go ahead, Tasteless.
No, I was just going to say, this is a map that I think is pretty tough for Terran. If they go for, trying to get a third base is really difficult. Gas steals are common, which I think is what we're going to have here now. And also, yeah, I mean, it's a map we've seen a lot of. I think it's one of these maps where, like, Terrans really have to have perfect openings from start to finish in order to survive here.
Indeed.
And in this case, it's going to be Tyson probably stealing a gas and then going into. It's been more trendy now to go for Gateway Nexus after you do the gas steal.
That's I think the best play overall. And I think you're probably right that he'll go for that. Light goes for like that very, very fast barracks with this. That's definitely something that I've been stealing from the pros lately. You get that barracks up right before the probe gets in. Everyone's probe kind of shows up at the same time now. It's been so mapped out. But, he gets that wall, and that's important. Like, if there was a proxy gate, you'd be able to hold it pretty easily with this SimCity.
A lot of the strategies from the older days were around putting a lot of pressure and then teching to try to hit the Terran. The last couple of years, however, it's been more about getting a gateway and then a Nexus. But this is a different build from both of those. He's going to go for gas steal into Nexus first.
Yeah, this is actually quite good too. This popped up like a while ago on Eclipse, like before Eclipse went out of the map pool. And I actually started scouting on like 10 to block that because it felt so strong. And I think it is strong, but the thing is, Terrans have this mapped out very well now, where you scout this with your SCV and you're like, oh, okay. You just basically skip your bunker for a long time. So you'll make like a couple Marines here. You'll start to kill your gas. You'll make your command center. It'll be a bit later than your opponents. But like, everything's super streamlined now.
Is there any kind of recourse Terran has with this? To be frank, Nexus first into, gas steal into Nexus first is not something I'm totally familiar with. It's not something I've experimented with, but it doesn't feel safe when I look at it. But then some of these quick Nexus builds can be pretty deceptively safe if executed correctly.
There's like, occasionally you'll see a Terran try to bunker rush and expand. I think that's the worst thing you can do, because if you have a millisecond lapse of micro, then you're going to get crushed. Now, this is fake. Like, he's sending the Marines, but, like, this is not something that you would think can actually kill him. You know, probes and zealots can, like, knock out SCV Marine pretty hard. This is cute, though. It's like a good try.
Oh.
350. Literally a finished bunker, Tasteless. This is what it is to be a Terran player, Tasteless.
I have never seen that.
That was
I
insane.
didn't even know
Watch
that
my
was
stream?
possible to get to full, to get to literally full HP, but it's also not done.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
so funny.
I guess Tyson's just better than Light, Tasteless.
You know, it reminds me, the little bunker push out there reminds me of what we've seen against some Zergs, where you're trying to kill drones. The bunker's not really there to like end the game. It's not like the classic bunker rushes we had in the first couple of years of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, instead this game goes on with the expand up for the Terran. This is when I should have brought up the deep macro play, by the way, and how all the rules are very, very different. So Protoss goes for Robo first because you don't really know what the Terran's doing, and that really matters in this game because it's a second barracks here.
Yeah, this is going to be a Marine medic all in from Light. Now, Light is actually really good at this. A lot of Terrans used to try to do this, and then it just stopped working. If he goes immediate Reaver, if Tyson does, then we're going to have our first upset of the day, most likely. Like, Reaver is... A lot of people like that are more of StarCraft 2 fans will come over and watch. They're like, why can't you go bio? Is like Psystorm too strong? It's like, no, that's actually not it. It's literally just the Reaver is impossible to deal with. It comes out so quickly. It is just such a hard counter to bio that you just don't really have any play against it.
Yeah, well, and the other thing too is that even if you don't have a Reaver, depending on what composition you have, you can kind of fight Bio.
Yeah.
Like with a couple of Dragoons with range, you can actually kite it. You'd be surprised what you get done with it. I'm sorry, were there medics with this? I didn't see any.
That's just Marines going right now. So he's going to start
Marines,
with,
right?
Yeah, he's going to start with peer pressure. Like he might, like he definitely has an upgrade going in his academy. And the thing is, it could actually be either Stim research is quicker, so I assume it's going to be Stim, but that's like a super one-way trip. Like he has to get a ton of damage with this. And he might go into factory from here. Like this is, I've never seen anyone quite do it like this.
This is really smart,
yeah,
I think.
This is very
gonna
cool.
hit before Reaver, basically no matter what. So I guess, yeah, how funny. So 3 SCVs in the front.
Wow.
The bunker comes down here. This is, I think, about 12 Marines. He's got a really good path to send the probes here. Probes are actually really strong against Marines when they drill. Oh my God, the flank with the Dragoon getting in the way here. The Dragoons are starting to win the fight, and actually, once again, it's like a glitch in the Matrix here. It's now 2 bunkers that are not finished that SCVs were pulled off of.
And that is the rush completely crushed. So he better have a factory being made right now. I believe he does have 2 factories being made. So this was not something that I have not seen this. I'm not sure what he got. Okay, he's getting the secondary upgrade. Like, we didn't hear any stims, right?
Mm-mm.
So I think he might have gone
so.
range. Like, range Marines in a bunker have the same range as range Dragoons. So, like, range is actually good against range Dragoons. In fact, it's better than Stim is. But Stim is better against everything else in this matchup. So, like, that's a very interesting idea that we saw from Light there. And if Tyson hadn't had such a great probe drill, maybe it does something there.
I almost wish that Light
he had the
won with that,
Dragoon
because that would have
at
been
the
such a
minerals on the other
beautiful
side.
victory.
That's why.
Like, talk about an upgrade that's never even talked about in this matchup, which is Marine range. Finishing and basically in a complex bunker rush, you gun down the Nexus, and there's just no way to stop it because Dragoons with range can't outrange a bunker with Marines with range. So, very cool. It's too bad it backfired. I guess one of the predicaments for the Terran is you don't know where they might have hidden a probe or a spotter on minerals. You can kind of drill through any angle if you just look at the way the expansions are fanned out on the map from your 3rd to the top left to the 2 bases on the bottom right. You could kind of probe drill anywhere, right?
Yes. Very, very true on that. And, you know, just the probes surrounding the Marines, man, it's tough. Like, if your Marines get surrounded by anything, like, it's the same against Zerg, actually. If you try to do, like, an 8 racks and they actually get the surround with the drones, you're screwed, you know? Like, you need to keep the Marines and utilize their range. So, unfortunately, Light not able to do too much there. The follow-up from Tyson is as close to perfect, I think, as you can get. Light right now is focusing his scans mostly on getting rid of observers, which is okay. But he hasn't seen the carriers. Like, his main scan missed the Stargates. Oh, and he scans. See, he did a double scan there, because that's where people normally hide the carrier tech, and it scans for the 3rd Nexus, so that was perfectly placed. I actually saw him move his box over exactly to that location on the screen. So he now knows that it's going to be carriers on the way, and also there is Reaver tech. So this is very tricky, because, like, Marine Medic, if there's, like, no splash damage, they actually do well against carriers, because they kill interceptors really quickly. You know, you stim and you have a critical amount, and that's good. But the thing is, how do you get into position to attack when your opponent has Reaver shuttle? Like, you can leapfrog your siege tanks, but that's going to take a really long time to push.
Dragoons with Shuttle Reaver, it's kind of the perfect tech to have to get into carriers, because Terran is never allowed to just shove into a fight. If they ever just try to unseat everything and walk at you, you can use the Dragoons to kind of be the meat shield, and then have the Shuttle and Reaver just fire so many shots. They'll always lose. So it's really scary, because generally the way that Terran beats a Protoss player who's going for carriers early on is to basically kill it in its crib, to stop the carriers before they're able to be effective, before there's enough interceptors, before there's enough carriers, where you have that cumulative damage where you can play, keep away, snipe Goliaths, and, you know, basically cause the Terran hell. But yeah, I mean, the tech setup from Tyson here is looking perfect, and he's about to take a third base down here in the bottom right.
I really like it. I like how Tyson has played this. I really think he's playing as close to flawless as you can get here. Like, it's just so smart. Light doesn't really have a good timing attack here. And this is like the best map to go fast carrier on. Because Terran, you know, the thing against carrier is you have to find a timing and push and punish them before the carrier numbers get out of control. But on Eclipse, that's incredibly hard because with the two main paths going around, there's no way to swap in between them. So if you attack up one, they just counterattack down the other. And base trades don't work in Terran versus Protoss. Like, it makes it very tough.
He just like went through a blind spot. I think Tyson literally just doesn't see this. This is insane.
Well, he's killed so many observers this game. This actually might end up winning him the game. This is insane. Yeah.
If he doesn't realize, he may have caught the glimpse. I mean, he's moving stuff back, but he still has all these Dragoons over here to the side. This is how I lose my games. Sometimes is I've somehow just either not been watching the mini-map or they just get through some kind of a blind spot.
And
I'm not ready. And look, I mean, if Terran can siege up right outside your natural, they're halfway there. Especially if they can throw down turrets, because you need a really high amount of carriers for this to work. And I guess Protoss wants to counterattack.
It looks that way. This is absolutely insane that Light got around there, but he was scanning to kill observers all game long, so he was putting the effort in to be able to do a move like this. But Tyson here, just with like a counterattack, this is not working well for him right now, to say the least. But he pulls the Dragoons back. He needs to make sure he doesn't waste these Dragoons. If he can stop mining at the natural, that'll be pretty good. But look at all these turrets there are. Like, Light is kind of prepped for this.
I mean, if Tyson can snipe the 4 tanks on the high ground, maybe, but I'm a little bit worried he's already thrown too many ground units into the meat grinder here. I mean, he's going to finally kill this 3rd tank, but I don't know how effective this is going to be. I mean, so many Zealots and Dragoons on the low ground have been killed. The SCVs are surrounding the Dragoons on the low ground now, and, like, I mean, maybe if he had 4 carriers, he could actually breach this point. I guess we should also point out that nobody's mining at their natural right now. Maybe Protoss has like 2 or 3 patches mining, but basically it's not a base compared to what it should be in a game like this.
Man,
this is crazy.
I can't believe
I think Light takes this.
I think that
oh my
you're
God, he's
right.
going to get the command center.
I think he is going to get the command center.
Oh,
okay, he gets the command center. He got some Dragoons. He didn't lose any carriers, which is incredibly important. Some tanks come back to ensure that all the goons die. He needs to pull the carriers back.
Not the Gooners.
Oh, no!
Oh.
Dude. Light just is making magic this game. You play this game out like 100 times.
Is he going to get it? He's going to get
Terran
one.
should be losing at 99. I'm not joking. This was such a terrible position. And Light has just made magic by walking around the map.
Oh, he lost the Reaver!
Super defending his main base. Now, the game
Oh
isn't
my
100%
God.
over. There's still the 2 carriers on the bottom. He's trying to break through here. He's reduced the amount of anti-air a little bit. He has a lot of Dragoons. I don't know. Maybe there's still a shot.
Oh, here come all the Goliaths.
No, I think this is done.
Yeah,
I think the carrier count is too small.
And he's making sure he's not getting the
Marines
3rd.
Stim, I mean, well, if he got Stim, but either way, the Marines, the turrets, the Goliaths.
He doesn't have enough
especially if he's in a
carriers.
bunker, it's going to be too much damage.
And
I
he's
don't think he can get
broke.
anything done. He can basically never break this position that we're looking at right now.
If he had 2 more carriers being made, I'd give him a much better shot. But he's almost out of minerals at this point. Light has enough Goliaths. The missile turrets help a lot. The Marine medic helps a lot. He's going to try to start picking things off, but Light is starting a new command center. I think Light's done it, man. It
does feel like he's done it.
This
mean,
blows
is
my
just
mind.
Well, this was such a weird game. I hope we can go back if they load up the replay. I want to see that move through the blind spot.
Yeah, that was
it was subtle, but
insane.
you pointed it out,
That was
Artosis. There was a lot.
insane. GG.
Tyson taps out. Light wins. Light shot down a lot of observers.
Woo, that was
Somehow,
actually really fucking close.
Like, snuck very quietly his entire army all the way around. Basically threaded that needle right through the contain, set up at the natural, and I think it was panic mode for Tyson. Tyson had to do this huge counterattack that, like, I think, frankly, wasn't anywhere nearly as well executed.
No.
As the attack from Light. He kind of threw his ground army away when maybe he should have just used the carriers to snipe the tanks. And by the way, Light, crazy response to gas steal Nexus first. Never seen anything quite like that.
True, me too. Hey, this is a game I think that Tyson is going to really regret for a long time. If he just clears that push as natural, like he was so far ahead. It's crazy how far ahead he was. Like strategically, everything he was winning on. He had everything correct, except he missed that push completely, and then he did that counterattack. Wow. I mean, that just shows the level of Light that he pulled that victory out.
Happy
Very
birthday,
well done.
Light. I don't know if it's his birthday.
Yeah,
that might just be a troll.
Wild to me. I mean, that was looking like it was going to be like an 8-2
Oh.
matchup there after
Look
he
at him.
failed with the rush.
Look at him.
You know, Two Barracks' factory's just starting. Reaver Tech out for Protoss.
He's
and
already
going
into
carriers on two
StarCraft,
bases. It looks like it
and he
should
can
be
barely
impossible.
stand.
But, you know, if Tyson's unable to play out
Welcome
that
to
advantage
Korea.
and Light can figure out some kind of a way, well, then he wins. And here we are. Guys, short break coming up next. Protoss versus Zerg with Bisu versus Killer.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
Welcome back, everybody. What an insane game, man. I can't believe we saw a rush like that. I was just talking at the start of the game about how I don't really know how, you know, one manages to hold off gas and then Nexus first. Is there a way to punish it? It feels unsafe. And then Light shows us the answer, but miraculously Tyson still holds and makes for a crazy and very unique, kind of a 1 in a million game.
It really was, and that's something that Tyson will never let happen to himself again. I do think that my hype of Tyson there about how strong he is in the matchup, we saw it.
Yeah.
Like, he was.
There's just one
I mean,
blind
Light
spot that,
kinda
that
tricked
Light
him and
opened up.
Snuck his army into a really, really unbelievably strong position, and Tyson screwed up from there a little bit. But like everything else, Tyson, like again, you put him in that position 100 times, he's winning it more than 90. Way more than 90. Like that looked completely unwinnable for Light. I was sitting here with my smug smile on my face. I'm like, I knew that Tyson's great. But that's a rough one. And now I don't hold much hope for Tyson in this group anymore after that.
Yeah, well,
So
look, I
sad.
mean, not having everything spotting when they leave their base is, I mean, that is how games are lost, right? It's.
I mean, that's how I lost my
not
game when
exactly
I
the most
played. He
interesting
fucking
game
put a
to look back
hatchery in
on,
my
right?
goddamn
You just,
main.
you know,
And I just
didn't
didn't
see
look.
him leaving, but basically that
And I
was
thought I was
Light
gonna
playing
win.
at like 100% the entire time. And even when his strategy basically failed, and in theory his position would be unwinnable, he just saw that one opportunity and went for it, and it worked.
Yeah. I tell you, this man here, I have such a gamer crush on Bisu Tasteless, even though he's a Protoss player. He's even chooses the best intro music. It's wonderful.
I was going to say, My Chemical Romance. This is a throwback.
Dude, this is actually
Fucking
my most listened to album.
2006.
But Bisu
Really?
is, yeah. Black Parade is the greatest album ever, Tasteless, I
did
think. But,
Black Parade come out?
yeah, Bisu is, like, dude, I cast him so much. People that watch my
It was
casting
2006.
channel,
I was right.
shout out to our
2006.
cast on YouTube, are probably getting sick of it because he plays
Fucking know my
so
shit, guys.
much ladder, and he is so good in those games, Tasteless. Like, Bisu is a killer. Well, this is killer, but Bisu is in, like, really superb shape. I'm loving his play right now.
That was prime
And I
fucking
think he'll
high
be able
school for me,
to
man.
take out Killer and probably Light as well.
I've been grade.
I just get the impression Bisu is never
9?
stopping Brood War. He basically never walked away from the game. He's been here forever. He's going up against Killer. Killer is very scary.
No, it would've
He's
been 10, 'cause
definitely able to
11.
take out a lot of the favorites here of this whole tournament. We're going to go
No,
into that
yeah,
best of
'cause
one.
10
Back on
would be
Eclipse. Bisu versus Killer. Let's
7,
go.
8, 9. Yeah.
Okay, down here in the bottom left is Bisu, and in the top right is Killer.
1A, 2A, 3A, 1A, 2A, 3A,
This is,
1A,
Eclipse is a
2A,
map we've
3A.
probably seen more of over the last couple years than almost any other map.
Yeah.
It was in the map pool for a long time, and it's actually back in the
I am
map pool.
fixed, bitch.
There was a period where I felt like the maps really didn't change on ladder. I mean, it was just like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But
Hora.
you know, this has proven to be honestly in this matchup a pretty interesting map. You know, you have
Hoorah.
2 different directions that you can expand into, and both of them
Better.
have pros and cons. We've also seen Forge expand, pretty common, but Bisu's going to make a pylon in the main. Whoa.
Ooh, already very
That's
interesting. That's
So,
cool. What is he doing?
I feel like we never see him do one base, which is crazy. I feel like maybe the most common player to do one base stuff is probably Mini,
For sure.
and then maybe Snow, but you know, one base PVZ is extremely hard to pull off.
Bisu.
You do see people win, but okay, he's going to go around the blind spot, so this could be there's an opportunity to cannon rush if the Zerg went for hatch first, which he's not doing. He's gone for pool. He did the extractor trick.
Hey, it was specifically a
be-
9 pool here. So
Yeah.
is this I guess it's going to be a 2-gate opener? He puts the 2 gates down. That is specifically something we've seen Mini do a lot in the past. But is this
Right.
supposed to, like, if you're doing this build, Tasteless, are you hoping for hatchery first, or are you actually hoping for a pool first? Because,
Well, I
like,
think-
with
I
pool
think you
first,
hope
it's
for-
less larva, right? So, like, you could,
Well-
that might allow you to put on even more pressure?
Well, if it's hatchery
Man,
first,
I
think it would be a
fucking
Forge
hate
instead of
people
a
who do
gateway
this
for the second
shit.
build
Oh my
in.
god, yeah, and then he's
Oh.
gonna put down the pylon.
Yeah, okay.
But if it's not,
Just
then I
to
guess what you do is
fuck
you're
him.
two-gating, and then you throw this pylon down
Protoss
here.
is so
And
bullshit.
so you're really tripping up the
Oh.
Zerg's build. It's not that common to see people go for 9 pool with no speed.
Yeah,
This-
he has
this
no
is like,
gas, so...
It can be kind of scary versus like gateway first openings because they can really put a lot of pressure on the gateway.
So annoying
But
that they
when
can
I say
force
gateway
you to
first,
do
I mean
that.
gateway expand openings.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck Zerg.
I find this kind of funny because,
What
like,
are you laughing at?
I'm like asking you about what you think, like, oh, you know, which one are you looking for? And then as you explain that decision-making process and what you're looking for, I'm like, oh. And I'm like imagining myself at like an old-timey show with a magician, and I'm like, oh, and I'm clapping. I got like a cigarette and a long stick and like a feather hat. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, this is very entertaining. Okay, but he's gonna move out.
This is my casting mentalism right now. I'm a mentalist here, wowing you. I'm like, was the word you were thinking is Protoss is OP? And you're like, ooh, that was the word.
Wow,
in my
how do you
head.
do that? That's so amazing. But look, right now, Bisu, this is like an old micromap thing. 3 zealots and 2 probes coming up. This can kill a lot of Zerglings, especially if you take the ramp. So let's see
2
what
zealot
type of
hits and
damage
2
he
probe
does.
hits
Yeah.
kill a
So
Zergling.
he can block the ramp, and probably with just, I guess not. Okay, I think he was going to try to set that up. It didn't quite do it right. The probes are kind of on the outside here. You basically don't want the probes exposed like this because, obviously, if they die off, you're down 3 workers. This is looking really bad for Bisu. But, you know, at the same time, the hatchery at the third base is taking damage. The other Zerglings are basically running interference to make sure that
Oh, we got him.
Zealots can't get
Oh.
inside, and one's almost been picked off.
He's trying to run them down to the
Nice.
more zealots that are coming out, and the 3 in that third base area, or I guess it's the
They
second
might be
base
able to
this
kill the
time, but,
hatchery.
they
Oh,
are
maybe
putting a lot of
not.
damage on the hatch, but I don't think they're going to be able to kill it.
Oh man, he's got you know, the zealots on the ramp surrounded. The placement is actually pretty good for Bisu if he can keep the 2 injured zealots kind of safe here. Like
He's gonna
he
get the
can
hatchery.
Use him as bait and run away. He might be able to do this, but this is going to go one way or the other. He's actually got some great kills there on those links. That was incredible. He just needs to keep the injured zealots like in a position where it's tempting to attack him, but you can pull him away. 3 of these zealots, I believe, are nearly dead. I think had he not seen the 4 or 5 snipes,
Commander.
Why is that not showing up in chat?
Perfect match for
Man,
us.
I'm not that interested. Are you smoking?
Who?
You.
Why?
What? Why are you smoking?
Maybe.
What? When did you start smoking?
1989-ish.
So you have been lying. It all makes sense. The filled ashtrays, the burning pine-scented hairspray.
Yes, I'll say it. Her 3-pack-a-day voice.
Oh, There it is. I don't know why it didn't show up in the thing there. Dequavius Lefawanda. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for lurking.
With those zealots, we would probably already be out of this game.
How are you doing?
Dude,
Even now, it's not over. The zealots are going to push. The lings are going to try to set up for a surround. Now that ling speed's done, these zealots are actually a lot weaker. It's much, much harder to make them work. But Bisu's going to go for it.
Bisu has over twice the supply of Killer right now, which I think is really funny. And he just started his gas. Now he's going to attack in. There's so many Zerglings you would imagine Killer can finally kill these off. And of course he has a Sunken Colony on the way as well. So Bisu actually starts to pull back. I think that was basically the perfect pullback timing as well. Bisu is like, he is so impressive. The fact that he's just like, I don't know, I'm going to kill your base. And like, I'm playing one base here. His zealots just don't die. I'm like watching this wondering, should zealots maybe have more health and do more damage? Because like,
thank you for
Killer
following
here, like literally goes pool first, makes tons of lanes, and can't stop
hope you are enjoying the stream less than 4 less than 3
thinks he'd be a
Wonder if it
perfect
would have been
match
better
for
to
us.
take the zealots and
Did
run
it
them
break?
underneath the mineral patch of the
smoking?
expansion.
You.
Why?
What? Why are you smoking?
Maybe.
What? When did you start smoking?
1989-ish?
So you have been lying. It all makes sense. The filled ashtrays, the burning pine-scented hairspray.
Yes, I'll say it. Her 3-pack-a-day voice?
Deep fried Elvis Presley. Thank you for the follow. My alerts are kind of fucked up apparently. It's not showing the follows in the chat. I don't know why. But thank you for the follow, good sir. Welcome, welcome. How are you? We are watching the ASL Tastosis. Do you StarCraft, good sir? You ain't no chick. No, I am not. I am not. Hey, it all feels the same with the lights off. True. I like your mindset. There we go. We'll throw out some Gooner content for you there, bud. Do what you gotta do, bro.
Drone by turning it in.
I came for the blonde chick. I stay for Mr. Meeseeks. True, brother. True.
Do a Sunken Colony. That's what I've seen with Mini or Snow when they do these kind of builds, where it's like a little bit less.
It is what it is,
trying
right?
to take the fight, but it's about trying to entrench yourself in a position on their side of the map.
Today's a special day, though.
Where they have to, like,
ASL,
really,
StarCraft,
ineffectively
favorite game, Tastosis, favorite people.
Now you might
so
be looking at this
we're
and
watching
wondering, okay, why don't we see more 2-gate in
but
general?
normally I'd be
oh
story
God,
content
oh my
and
God, it was almost the perfect block.
writing.
Insane.
That was pretty crazy. Only 2 ended up getting
and
in.
then
I
Monster
for sure he was gonna
Hunter
get more than
Wilds
that.
at this
And
point.
he will probably lose a probe or 2 here.
Maybe some Path of
but
Exile
pretty
2
good
when the
defensive
hunt
for him.
comes
He hasn't
out.
lost a single probe as of yet. He continues to hold the ramp. The Stargate is coming. Tasus, just real
Yeah,
quick.
if you're a writer or you like anything like that, feel free to join the Discord. Post any of your content in there if you want me to read it.
It's not.
He's going layer.
Out of the question.
I've lost a probe or 2.
Obviously, Bisu doesn't know exactly.
Yeah,
what
I
build to bring
definitely
there.
lose
Layers
drones all of the
I'm looking
time.
at this and it
Bit of
reminds
shot in
me
the
of my
dark.
scout build that I use when I PvZ.
The scout build that he lost to fucking
doing a ling all in
to
and they kept throwing
fucking
lings at you,
Snow.
and you knew they didn't have any
Scouts.
development. Usually that would have been after like that zealot rush. and
God,
killed
that
lot
was a
of
good
drones.
time. That was
That's
a fucking
basically
good
the only
time.
time you can make a scout. I don't even think you have to make a scout
Artosis
to win.
is pretty great.
But if you know they're like
I don't
basically
write
not
sugar.
mining
I
gas,
died
and
on
just
the
continuously
toilet.
making lings,
Remember?
and you're just trying to hold this off.
True.
Barely, then I think it's
True.
okay. This game's not going to be one of those games. He's going to get a Corsair. He's coming in here and he needs to figure
I'm like,
out
wait,
what is the tech. And this,
you
by the
wrote your
way,
own
is where Protoss
songs,
falls
right?
off dramatically. Is that when they're trying to get their expansion up, their second gas
Or did
is
you
so
just
late,
sing?
It's really hard to get anything that you want. All the good stuff
nah,
that
man,
Protoss
the
has
government
that fights Zerg in a meaningful way that's not like zealots and cannons costs a ton of gas. Even the stuff that makes, like the zealots as an example, good, costs gas as in +1 attack.
I just
armor,
sing?
or
Ah,
zealot
I
charge,
see.
Or speed, I guess we call it in StarCraft 1.
Well, I write
So,
and read
this
poems,
is where the
songs,
Zerg can kind of
plays,
find their
stories,
balance.
books,
That being said, it's a pretty scrappy,
creations
low-econ
of the
game.
mind,
I
world
am
building.
very curious to see how Bisu plays this out. For me personally, I'm always totally fascinated by good Protoss players that can beat Zergs starting off on one base. Maybe in part that's because you deal with a lot of random players on ladder, and so you end up in a lot of these games where you went like one base kind of hoping they would either be Terran or Protoss, and you scout them last, and you go, oh, all right, well, we're going to have a really obtuse game where I feel like I'm just at a disadvantage.
Sure.
But
look at all those juicy overlords
this
just
game,
sitting
he's
above
sent
the
more zealots
Hydralisk
out. By the way,
den.
he's made a ton of zealots.
He
He's
just
teched very
canceled.
slowly.
What did he just cancel?
He's going to once again... Oh, hold on.
What did he cancel?
He's got the mutas chasing us now. He's
Yeah.
going to go underneath. He's going to pull a light over here. Oh, he's just going to send it back.
He was watching that light game. He's like, "Oh my God, there's a path down there that you can attack on. It's crazy." He actually canceled his
I
Citadel
love
tastes.
Eclipse.
Why would Bisu cancel his
It's my
Citadel?
most played map
Because he
by
needs
far.
cannons right now.
But I played back when it was on the ladder.
You can get clobbered so easily here if you
Oh,
don't have
God.
enough Corsairs. By the way, I
Oh,
think if you lose
God.
even like one Corsair, you're
It's
really
gonna
behind.
snowball.
The fact
Yeah.
that the Zerg has had 2 gases for longer means he can make a lot more mutas, he can make a lot more Scourge. And this is where Protoss is having to spend so much money, like making cannons and getting Corsairs, that the rest of the
Is
tech
he gonna
is
go
slowed down.
lurkers?
Like that Citadel that was delayed, because we know he's eventually going to get it right.
Okay, he's going for the
That's been
third.
delayed in part because you just need a ton of cannons. This then later on delays the Templars. It just becomes a really tough game to play. So he's going to get +1 air attack, and he's kind of setting up for one of these pushes we've seen from Bisu a
Same
million
amount of
times
Corsairs
before,
as there are
but off of a late
Mutalisks.
second base. So he's going to have +1 attack with Zealots. He's going to try to micro his Corsairs perfectly, and he could end up finding a timing where he could basically shut down this third or maybe even bust the natural.
This is kind of cool. Like, the Zealots are slow, but there are very, very many of them. A lot of the money of Killer has gone into Mutalisks, so the Corsairs have good potential at just wrecking. Yeah, it looks like he's going to maybe try to attack the third base. I'm not sure. Is he posturing? Is he sharking around the map? Or is he actually going to go?
I think he's trying to make him not make drones, I think.
Okay.
But, you know, if he has
He
+1
might
attack,
commit here.
I mean, if the Zealots can just get to a hatchery or get to anything of value, they are going to win that fight. +1 air attack, by the way, is not
No
done, so this is
foot
very, very
cam.
dangerous.
No, sorry,
Seems like that
sorry,
Dragoon's really
Toe
getting in the way of the
Connoisseur.
Zealots. Should have been maybe get
That
up
that
there
was like a
little more quickly.
one-time like.
Okay, he does start to
When
attack
I
the
do my
hatchery, and then
makeup
Mutalisks come.
streams,
See, he
then
was
we'll
afraid
do
of Mutalisks
defeat
counterattack.
cam.
That's why his Corsairs
I
are
mean,
so far out of position.
it is what it
Brings
is.
him back now, though. That is a lot.
I need to
of
figure
Mutalisks
out
and
how to
Scourge.
get it
Oh
like
my
permanently set up, and I need to get a third
This is what
camera.
it's going to come down to here.
Then we can have feet cam the whole time.
Oh my God,
Is
dude.
who's
But
kinda take
I just
the-
need to
the
figure
fight
out
first.
how to
This
get it
didn't
all
really go
set
either
up.
way, by the way. This is you know, if the
Literally
Scourge positions perfectly on
unwatchable.
the Corsairs, then the Protoss loses. If the Corsairs can snipe the Scourge, they get to kill the Mutas.
True, brother, true.
That felt like a pretty perfect hold from Killer.
I mean,
looking at
I can
how he
try
did
and do
that, like,
something
he
for you,
zoned
Toe
everything really
Connoisseur.
well.
Hold on, let me see if I can.
He waited,
if
knowing
I can
the
do
Corsairs
this.
couldn't be right over the Zealots, so they were at maximum distance basically. I'm not feeling very good about Bisu's position anymore in this game. It felt magical at the beginning, but magic's not real, Tasteless.
I think it's definitely not real in this game. Only my mentalist tricks are real.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
And that's not true magic. He's going to try to come in and hit him. Now, again, look, if Zerg loses this air, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Wow.
Oh my God, he hits almost all the Corsairs, excuse me. Now that Mutas can snipe the Templars. This has been a familiar theme in the season of ASL. He does get almost all the mutas, but we're going into Hydrotech here.
It really seems like with this many hatcheries, the amount of drones he's making, he's taking a 4th base. Bisu, like, just lost 2 High Templars. He's still making Corsairs, which aren't going to help him. I think he's falling into a hole he's not going to come out of, Tasteless.
Yeah, this is really the story of why you don't see any kind of, like, standard 2-gate play. If you see 2-gate play, like, off 1 base, you see it's Mini doing that crazy all-in where he gets a Reaver really fast.
Very memorable.
What a novel opening, and it kind of just crazy to see, of all people, Bisu doing this. Bisu's, you know, in my mind, and maybe for you guys watching at home, he's kind of the player that never won bases ever. You know,
True.
He's one of the best fast expanding players. He's kind of the guy that gave us fast expanding as we know it. We've seen so many Zealots killed in this game.
Yes.
I wonder if we could ever find the number out, but it's got to be like dozens at this point in time.
For sure.
Basically,
Damn it, wrong
Zerg
button.
just gets
Hold on, I
so
almost got
far
it. I
ahead
almost got it.
and is able to tech so much more
You're
freely.
gonna love
They
this.
get that tempo
You're gonna
advantage
love
with the
this.
mutas. The Protoss have to stay back. They have to get the cannons.
If I can freaking
They
do
have
it,
that late
right?
second gas, so the Templars are slowed down. And when Killer won the fight with the Corsairs, which really comes
I'm
down
so
to the
bad at
Corsairs
this.
able to, you know, connect on, or sorry, the Scourge able to connect on the Corsairs, that's it. And so I would say this is a pretty impossible position from Bisu. Let's see how he plays it out, though.
If he wins this game, that'll be incredibly, incredibly impressive. I guess, you know, getting to kill that bottom right base is obviously huge. He has lost a ton
Where
of
is it?
Zealots. There's so many Mutalisks out here, but he actually refilled his Corsair count. And I think that this is one of Bisu's super strengths, is he's the best Corsair player in the world by a good margin. And
Okay, let's see if I can do this live.
he'll generally not lose that many. And then also he'll build them at times where a lot of players would stop and be like, no, I'm going to go more into Psystorm and stuff here. So he's sitting here on 2 Archons, which are supposed to catch these Scourge for him. And look at that. Like, the Archon's doing an okay job. He's got tons of Corsairs. He actually added a second Stargate. If Killer stays on these mutas, that might be the path for Bisu to actually win this game.
Did he actually get a second Stargate? I missed
He did.
that.
He did.
That's crazy.
That's crazy at this point, right? Like,
I feel like we never see that.
No, never at this point in the game. But that's what we're seeing. Hopefully, for Killer's sake, he's going for +2 flyer.
There you
I
go.
tell you. And look at this. He has to cancel that 4th base out. This is one of the most different games I've ever seen from Bisu.
Yeah, this is insane. And he's gone for double Archon. You know, a lot of Protoss players, they just try to get Templars, and they'll sacrifice making the Corsair.
How's
production.
that?
Maybe that's how they end up losing, but he just kind of doubles down on having raw strength on the ground. The Archons, by the way, if you're good with their control, they can catch, like, all the Scourge. Like, it's crazy. They can, like, 1 or 2 shot an entire group of Scourge if the Zerg's not looking. So it really puts a lot of strain on the Zerg trying to control stuff. The Zealots are going to come down here in the bottom right. You know, it's so funny. This game could only be played by Bisu. Nobody quite can look like this in a game. There's the Archons zoning the Scourge. This is so crazy hard to do. I can't even believe this. Oh my God, he wins the fight.
Dude.
No way.
Those mutas are done. Those
He just snapped those Scourge.
Yeah, and now it's like 11 mutas against 11 Corsairs, and even more. Oh my God. Tasteless, he's going to destroy these mutas, and now he has so many Corsairs, he might be able to go across the map and, like, delete a lot of these Overlords, but it has been a switch into Mutalisks. I mean, into Hydralisks.
Yeah, well, this is where the big test is going to be, because usually when Protoss loses, it's during the Hydrotech. He did win the fight versus the mutas, but it's like, what, we're like 16 minutes and 40 seconds in? Finally, that fight's over. But he needs a Psystorm. It's very unlikely that Bisu can muster enough just Zealots to take on this many Hydras.
No, that's like critical mass. If you don't have splash damage against that, nothing's going to beat that. They pack themselves in. Their DPS is super high. It's like just something that can happen to melee units where you have so many range units in a ball that the surface area will never be correct to beat them. And I feel like we're at that level.
At least
with
I
these.
have them
So
now.
The
They can just come in and out whenever you want.
Incredibly crucial.
Okay, well, he has it.
We'll turn them into an
Oh,
emote
gosh, is he gonna
too
take a fourth
eventually.
base here? This is kind of crazy. I think there's a pylon up here. Yeah, at the fourth. He needs just 4 Templars. Oh, the DT could be very handy if he can run right through. So he's going to see this push coming. I guess he decides to just go ahead and hit what he can here. The Overlords are going to come in here. No way to intercept that, so that thing's going down.
The
Great
mutas!
targeting on the mutas.
Okay.
Remember, this is so many Corsairs, it's almost impossible to actually snipe a Templar. Like, if you get in range of the Corsairs, the mutas get deleted.
Oh my god.
And look at this. Any Overlords on
Overlords.
attack move, like he is going to crush here as well.
Oh.
And, dude, they try to come in for the snipe. And he actually snipes them both, Tasteless. The Hydra's got one, the Mutas got the other. And now he's got no Psystorm with that army. He does have 4 High Templars down there. This is so many Hydralists. Oh my god.
Okay, he's going to move in. Oh, he loses another one and another one.
I don't think he has Psystorm.
I have yet to see a Psystorm.
I don't think he has
it. Are you
it.
kidding me?
He doesn't have enough energy!
Yeah,
he has 1.
He doesn't have it, Tasteless. That's 4 High Templars not doing anything.
Yeah, no, he just lost.
Dude, he didn't make Psystorm.
No, he did not get the upgrade. He was cutting
Oh
so
my
much Templar
fucking
attack
god.
that he just didn't get it. That's insane. I don't think we've actually seen an ASL game like this, or if we have, it's been so long I can't remember.
How the fuck did
Where
Bisu
a
not
player
get
just literally
Storm?
didn't have Storm.
That is...
I can't believe that's how this game ended. This is crazy.
That is the most brutal
He
thing
would
ever.
have held that.
Yeah, he would
This
have.
was one of the best games I've ever seen into one of the biggest fails.
Yes.
Now, oh my god, he has Overlords here. I thought he'd killed all the Overlords. That's it, GG. Whoa.
Wow.
Damn.
Whoa.
Alright, Tyson's looking a
Well,
lot
no,
better
I
now.
saw the first
Bisu
Templar
is
get sniped,
not
and I
in
thought,
shape.
Okay, and then another one. And
Bisu's
then when
like,
it came to the
fuck.
natural, I thought, okay, well, he's got at least 1 Storm on one of these 2.
Are we gonna have like
And
an
then the one that had
amateur
the Storm
round
on
of
it, the energy for the
16?
Storm, I should
At
say,
this
that's
rate,
right.
holy
And then it
shit.
became very obvious. Oh, he
Yes.
just doesn't have the upgrade.
Yes. That is so painful. Like, you know that he most likely... The thing is, the game was so busy, there's a possibility you didn't click it, but it also...
And that's the answer
this
to your
happens sometimes
question,
where you go
Toe
for an upgrade and you're
Connoisseur.
just
How the
barely
frick do
short
they
on the
keep
money
track
and you
of so
don't
many
realize there's
things?
So many things are going on.
They
All
don't.
of us have had that moment.
They
You know,
don't.
no matter what race you play,
It's
occasionally you'll
literally
be like...
at least one game on my
Yeah.
one game on my stream every time Artos has happened.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah.
It's like Groundhog's Day where
Yeah.
I just can't get the upgrade.
Yup.
Man, craziness.
You know, never let someone tell you that both pros are always playing perfectly. They have the same mistakes that we have sometimes. It's crazy to see that in a super important best of 1 here that could ultimately lead to Bisu being knocked out of the season. Guys,
Yeah,
short
that's
break,
fucking
then the winner's
scary.
match, Light vs. Killer. We will be right back.
Skip right over that. Oh. Group D.
Welcome back, everybody.
D's
What
nut.
a roller coaster this has been emotionally today. I mean, these games have been crazy. These are like... these are games that are...
There it is.
A lot of it is
He
hinged
didn't
on
have it.
not doing what you basically need to do to ever be... Like,
It was
an
not
ASL
even
player,
close.
but
He
like an S-rank
literally
player,
started
A-rank
it
player.
after-
You know what I mean? It's just, did you get all your upgrades? Did you get everything you need? And there it is. Storm had started moments ago. No doubt Bisu probably thought that he had upgraded that probably around when the 3rd base was going up,
Yeah.
or even before that. It's also possible he had canceled Storm more than even once to maybe squeeze out an extra Corsair. You know what I'm saying? It's
Killer's like, fuck yeah,
it was
let's
a very
go,
unusual
bro.
PVZ in how it started.
I beat the
and
guy
then
who
also just how it
reinvented
continued to develop. I've never seen
PVZ.
anybody quite go as hard in the paint with just Corsairs and Zealots for that long. And also just seeing Killer kind of not back down for that long with his own Mutas and Scourge.
So, Tasteless.
Crazy game.
Yeah, I think, honestly, we're being trolled. It's April Fool's Day.
Oh.
And Tyson should have beat Light, and then Light snuck a win, and then Bisu should have beat Killer, and then Bisu fumbled a win. And it's like, literally the results are backwards from what they should have been watching the games.
It's a bad time travel movie. I'm like, which timeline are we in now? It's like the one where Bisu forgets Storm.
No. true
We're going to go
tasteless.
to
True.
Polestar here for a Terran versus Zerg. Really excited to see how Light's going to play this. Let's go.
ASL Season 19.
Okay, Light here in the bottom right, and Killer in the bottom left. Before we get into this game, guys, we need your support. If you love StarCraft 1, if you love the history of esports, if you love Artosis and myself, please consider supporting us at patreon.com/ASL English. We would not be able to do this without you guys. We are so happy to do this for as long as you guys keep supporting us. So please consider checking out our Patreon and pledging your support.
Yeah, big thanks to everyone, guys. Couldn't do without you, and, you know, absolutely loving casting ASL every season. This is like the two of the big highlights of my year for sure. It's just so much fun, and the games this season so far have been phenomenal. And like today's delivering as well, even though they're like crazy results. These have definitely been highly entertaining games. So it's wonderful to see Brood War in such a great spot.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love me my Brood War.
This is just the perfect game. It creates for so many incredible moments. I think, you know, there have been countless games that have tried to recreate this, and few have gotten close.
Indeed.
So yeah, I appreciate the support on Patreon, guys. We love you. Thank you so much. In this game, it's going to be Killer going for a hatchery right away. Light is not going for any kind of command center first. He's making a barracks in his main. On this map, Artosis, how do you feel about TVZ?
I think it's just a good map in general. There's nothing about it that's super challenging. I guess the one thing, if your natural points towards Zerg, the naturals are a little bit hard to block Mutalisks on. So, like, basically, like, it's very, very tight on one side of each of the minerals. So it's just like, it's a little bit tough if they dedicate their Mutalisk Craftsman, but it's not crazy. It's not the worst map ever for that either. So, like, it's a big map. It's got a lot of bases on it, so you can definitely get these really kind of dynamic, crazy games where there's hatcheries going up everywhere and you're trying to kill them, like, you know, drop ships all over the place. I think Polestar is just another in a line of really great four-player maps that the map makers have made. I was actually talking about this some the other day where if you look at it, it's like we've had Polypoid, Vermeer, Radion, you know, to some lesser extent, Retro, right? Now we have Polestar. We've just had a lot of really good four-player maps that give solid games. Deja Vu, too. Like, Deja Vu is a pretty solid map, I think.
Yeah,
Never really
I like
cared
the
for Deja
variety
Vu.
of just good four-player maps. I think this is a very welcome addition. I do think the map makers have just gotten better in general lately. The very early days, we've talked about it a bunch, but I mean, the maps are just too crazy, and I think it's nice that we've just taken kind of
Inner Coven,
more standard map ideas,
if you know, you
and
know,
then thrown something exciting inside instead of just taking, you know, 8 or 9 crazy ideas and making a map that, like, it might make for 1 or 2 crazy games, but it's probably, we're not there in StarCraft where we can really unpack a map like this and understand it and maybe have the kind of games we could have had if we kind of move at a better pace here as far as map creativity and new ideas goes.
Now, Light is doing a 4-Marine pressure. This is pretty popular right now, but you have to be careful. If they have enough Zerglings to kill this off when it gets there, you get behind his Terran, but, like, he has all the Lings chasing his SCV, so he's going to get in here. He's going to kill at least a couple drones. Like, Light takes a big advantage right there. That was... Oh, he actually doesn't get the second drone. Yeah, he'll try to turn around and get away now. But this is, like, this has become a somewhat standard move in Terran vs. Zerg, is one of these little push-outs. And that's... It's like, you just kind of look at it positionally. It's like, okay, he doesn't have an Overlord over my natural, so you try the push-out. Realistically, Killer should have had a Ling in front of his base. That was a little bit sloppy. He paid for it, and Light has a bit of an advantage right now, but not game-ending.
He was waiting
I was
for
wondering when he
speed.
saw the Spire, after killing the SCV, does it ever make sense to just make a lurker den and cheese here? Or do you just want to commit to that?
No, you'd have to get so lucky to have that work. It could definitely get them, like they'll make turrets kind of blindly and they'll go for later comsat. But when the mutas don't come, they'll scan and see it. And it's like, I would put Zerg behind in a position like that. I think it's not very worthwhile. There's definitely some mind games that you can do if you want to try lurker and stuff, but most of those, the good ones, involve having 3 hatcheries.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Well, the eBay is going to come here. Light, again, looking like just very solid. We were talking about this earlier, but you know his style at times feels a little bit old. Although I guess today it's been really, really fresh. A lot of the ideas he's brought here. I mean, seeing that kind of Marine Range bunker rush is going to completely change the entire ecosystem on the ladder for people that are going to go for that gas, steel, and Nexus first. But this game is sizing up to be more of a power-up, push-out kind of macro game that I think Light is best known for.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is kind of how you play SK Terran at the moment. You put on a little bit of pressure, make sure that they're not being too greedy. He's going up into the 3 barracks play, getting his turrets up, getting range and +1, so everything's really standard.
Every game.
And as long as he blocks these beat as well, which it looks like everything is perfectly on time.
Yeah.
We just kind of watch where he wants to go from here, because his factory should be starting in 20-30 seconds. And then we'll see, it's like, okay, does he want to try like a Valkyrie timing? Does he want to just go into science vessels? There's a few other choices for him there.
So Killer's looking over here, can't get anything done in the main. The turret spread's pretty nice. He's got doubled up turrets in his main over here now, but as well as at the barracks here.
Ooh, man down.
And Light just basically wants to kind of keep a line that's going to be, how do I say this? It's like he wants to make a wall of Marines and not have any that are kind of sticking out, any medics that are exposed, because once you have anything that's dangling or hanging out, like a loose Marine, that's when you can snipe it and pounce on it.
Totally. That's how you can tell someone's really good at the matchup, is when they keep a flat line of Marines facing the Mutalisks. There's a lot of positioning and repositioning.
Is there a technique to doing that? I mean, is there like do you want to try to just like move them slightly and hit hold, or how do you go about making them move like this?
I think everyone just kind of does it their own way, where you're just kind of watching the mutas and trying to reposition and pull things that are out back. Like, there's a little bit of an art form to it, too. Like, if you have one out and the mutas, you see the mutas turn, you can, like, pull it back, and then they have to pull back, and, a lot of attention there.
Nice snipe on the muta. Trades that out. The natural has been seized by Killer, by the way. And we've seen this rotation of, like, where you want to take your third base in TVZ over the last couple of years. It's been really interesting, because Zerg want a third base, but they're always trying to stay ahead of wherever the meta is to go to the more unpredictable spot. So it used to be the mains for a while. Then it was, like, obscure locations that, like, maybe like a 12 o'clock spot where it might not be scouted. And now it's gone to naturals, almost in a kind of Protoss versus Zerg-esque matchup.
Who I gotta blow around here to get
natural, and now you get the
Frenchie control.
Really
scouted by that SCV.
Yeah, the mutas actually jump onto the turrets here.
I control
took a lot
you.
Of damage there and didn't get that much value for it. But he has a lot of lings and mutas.
I don't know where Valium Boy is.
So he's getting ready to try to crush an army. This is actually very cool to see, and Light actually just got a perfect scan, so he knows to sit tight. Like, when you see that being fielded by your opponent, you have to make sure you have critical mass. Because otherwise, like, if your entire army gets cleared once, you're really far behind. That's why Sulky's such a killer in this matchup, because he always does it. Oh, no, don't attack the natural. What are you doing? This is crazy. Why would he do that?
Bro, I say too much.
Why would he do that?
Always me, it's crime. I stay
talk
quiet
about
now.
How Killer is like really underrated and he can put out these really strong games. That didn't make sense at all. Why would you do that, man? It's a bunker and all of his Marines are right up the ramp 2 inches from it. Like, there is no universe in which that works. That's so sad.
Not only does it not work, but like it worked. It did not work so badly when the bunker stayed alive. Like, there was literally basically no value. I almost
Did
wonder
you
if that
see
was a
what?
hotkey
You
or
didn't
something.
see anything.
No,
Like
he
he was
meant to
trying
do
to
that.
pull that off.
No, you didn't see anything.
But,
You didn't.
I mean,
You
that
didn't
was really
see
bad.
anything.
He wanted to get the
Had he
bunker.
just
Look
stayed
at
back.
Frenchie.
Oh, does he have
Look
his
at
high just up
Frenchie.
forward? So
Yeah.
he's like, I think he wanted to reduce the Marine count then a little bit. I think that's what his idea was. He wants the lurker containment.
Tokonasur came in here.
Light is just barely
So
going to get
I
up here in
decided
time
to.
deny it, it looks like.
It's not a cam. It's
That's
just a
like
picture.
one of the freest
But
wins. If
hey,
you just line up
that's
with
good
lurkers
enough,
in front of
right?
Your opponent's natural, and they didn't get an add-on. They'll lose. And he gets out here. He sees
Best
what's
I
going
can do.
on, and Killer's going to attack in. Those lurkers are about to come out. See, that's why he's scanned right there.
His name's
He timed this out
Tokonasur. Yeah,
just
he's been in here for
incorrectly.
like a while.
He's
He's been here a long time.
There. Okay, he does get the burrow.
He comes in every once in a
But you
while.
really need
A
links
bunch of
with
people
this.
just kind of stop
It's that
in every now
third
and then,
piece
right?
Of the army that kind of makes this, able to advance. And with lurkers pushed back here, this is certainly not the
Yeah,
lurker
Frenchie's my
Killer wanted
hero.
to do.
I fucking love the
That's
boys.
kind of a cute position right there. Yeah, he should probably just run those back. Like,
I think he was trying to get him to chase the 3 lurkers on the side. So
There's
he could run the
no
2 lurkers
drones
up into
there.
the main.
oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, like maybe run him up, hit the natural minerals or something like that. The bunker doesn't really block that. Okay, he's actually going to
I had
get...
a guy chatting for 4
No.
hours, didn't even
Are
follow.
you really going to run into the bunker again?
No.
Damn, Eggy. That
Well,
sucks.
I guess he gets it this time.
I guess he doesn't
It
have vision of
happens.
all of them either.
Some people's
Huh.
follow lists are just so big. there's no
Well,
point in
hold on a
following new
second. But
people,
These
right?
can be broken.
Oh.
These can be broken. Like, this is... And, in fact, the unburrow there was, like, definitely a big misstep. Like, Killer is just being too aggressive. Wow, GG. Okay.
Yeah, he fumbled the ball there.
That-
Big
All
time.
right.
He actually was
And
in
it's,
okay positions, too. But,
Light
like,
advances.
He was so aggro. My God.
Yeah.
He just
Huh.
really wanted to kill
Strange game.
Light.
It seems like it was almost a self-inflicted wound. I don't know why this keeps happening in our games today, but yeah, he tried to force
Everyone's
something
fucking themselves
against
up.
one of the players in all of StarCraft 1 who kind of doesn't break.
Yes.
Very rarely do you see, someone pull a fast one on Light. This is kind of how you become a god tier Terran. Is every trick in the book you've got an answer to early on. This was another funny moment because you could see what he was trying to do. Keep in mind, guys, eggs actually tank a crazy amount of damage. Marines almost can't kill
They
them.
have 10 base armor.
And it's
I
like
feel
he set
weird
up,
about
and
it.
this
I
was
enjoy
about
streaming
2
for
seconds
chatting,
too
but I
early
don't
from
want to
what it
become
looked like.
a streamer or anything.
Yeah, you want to time out
comes
this
in.
attack.
I didn't want to
with
become a
Lurker's
streamer.
finisher.
I just like the
So they're
chatting.
supposed to have patched, like, a
I
second ago,
never
2
use
seconds ago.
chat.
Definitely
I
was-
like
And instead,
always.
it's like, all right, well, we don't have anything here.
Just lurk.
Granted, they
I
still
don't even
finish.
have myself logged in on my other PC.
But if you have all your mutas
Like-
and your lings with this, it's a very different story.
Yeah.
Keep in mind as well, with that number of Marines, you probably could have gotten the lurkers to burrow, and then with the lings and mutas taken out a lot
but
more,
I
and
understand
maybe
that
advanced,
chatting,
maybe
like,
pulled something off.
not a
Yeah.
lot of
And
people
this
chat,
actually, looking at this, he was on
but
24
chat
drones
makes
this whole
this,
time.
the
And,
streaming
like,
experience
that's why
better.
he attacked the bunker before. Like, he was just trying to reduce stuff so he could just get a lurker
And
win,
I didn't
which
want to
is,
start
like, this
streaming
is
for the
all
longest
meta.
time because
Yeah.
all I thought of
Before
streaming was his
this
gaming,
goes off screen here, could we
right?
have just ran the lurkers
But then I
across
watched
the minerals?
Asmongold for like a year and a
Is that
half.
natural? It
That
feels like
can
there
be.
And I
this
was like,
opening there.
Yeah.
Lurkers can fit back there, right?
We could
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
do
they
something.
can. And the
And I wanted to
corner
do
to the
like
top
makeup
right,
and
I like the
cosplay and
probably
stuff like
could have
that.
bought it
And then it just
easily.
eventually
Yeah,
it
it gets
evolved
a little
into
bit
this.
tricky. You have to run
Because
your
Path of Exile
SCVs,
2
but
came
he
out.
was, like, low on
Wukong
drones,
came
so
out
he
at
was
that
just trying
time
to
as
end
well,
the
like
game
the end
there.
of August.
That was weird decision making. But light advances, and I guess we'll
I
go
was
over to
playing
the review of them now.
RuneScape originally,
You're
doing
watching Group D on the
learning
round of 24 of
raids,
ASL Season 19. as we
doing
have our
Slayer
first player
bossing
advancing
and
through to
stuff
the
like
round of
that
16.
for a
It's
while.
right. Congratulations.
Um,
Thank you.
But yeah, and then
You
we kind
managed
of
to secure
evolved.
2 straight wins in a TVZ
And now
a
we're a
TVP
writing
to
stream.
succeed in advancing today.
Primarily.
How are you feeling?
But we're still variety.
I aimed to play with a relaxed mindset. The games seem to have gone well in my
That's why I
favor,
just
better
do
than
whatever I
expected,
want.
So I advanced with ease,
So it's
and I'm in
easy.
a good mood. It was a quick day for you as you
Because
advanced.
at the end of the day, it's just a
Nonetheless,
blog for
you
myself
faced some struggles
and like
in
to
the
keep
early
myself
game against
accountable to
Tyson.
writing.
You got cheesed, though you
And
had
I've written
that, and
more
then failed
since
with
I
your
started
bunker rush.
streaming than I have
But
in like the
regardless
last
of that,
5
you
years.
must have seen an angle where you would come out victorious.
Like by a lot. Usually I
thought
write
I
like
had
4 or
lost
5
whenever he
stories a
defended.
year. I'm writing
But
like
with him going for carriers,
3 stories
I
a
thought there's
week.
one timing for me.
A blog is a good way to see it.
I
Yeah,
think
exactly.
luck was also on
Exactly,
my side
right?
there, and I managed to win.
It's like literally, I spent the first
Your
like
crisis
3 or 4
management
months
skills
just talking to
stem from
myself,
this
and then
vast
some
trove of
random people would
experience you
come
have.
in
You likewise
now and
dealt
then.
with killers
But basically,
with
it was
ruthless guilt
always a bot.
in the
I don't
winners
understand how
match
people
to
can
get a
play the
clean
exact
win.
same game like The Last
had a
of Us
tough
for
time
9
in the
hours a day
qualifiers,
every day.
But in contrast, a very easy time in the round of 24.
Yeah, that's brutal.
which makes
Some
me
people just
curious
push
about the round of
themselves. I mean,
16.
some
How
people
do
like
you
the
think
game,
that
right?
will go?
You're here, Valiant boy. Yes.
Even when I'm playing at my best.
You are here.
I have
dumbass.
slipped in the round of
No,
16
you know
in
who's
the
a
past. I
dumbass?
have slipped in the round of 8 too, which was regrettable. This season, I've said this a number of
dumbass
times,
bot, fuck Valiant boy.
but I want to overcome that and go even farther. A lot of fans will be waiting impatiently for a season where you manage to leave those personal regrets
I didn't
behind.
gift you a sub for you to
And
be on
today,
kick.
even your family showed up to the studio, which must have been a source of strength.
True.
It's going good, Valiant boy.
is
We're watching
starting to
Group
look
D of the ASL Season
We spent the
19.
whole day together. It's only been a week.
I'm super
since
tired,
my
so we
kids
decided
took
to
their
do something
first
lazy
steps.
as fuck today.
Keeps asking me for hugs.
Look at the little
and hangs around
kid!
all the
1
time.
second.
Wave to the
It's
little
tough,
kid!
But my kid is so pretty. I'm doing
There
well.
he is. There's the buddy. There's the
Daddy
bop.
gets off
There's
work
the
early
boopin'
today, so you guys
doopin'
can spend
doper
some time
dap.
together, hopefully.
Welcome, welcome,
What are you
Valiant
going
boy.
to show your fans this season? Do you have any words for the fans or your colleagues?
Throw them in both. Cool, Valiant boy.
After my
So it's not
championship
just
run,
you.
I would
We had
slip
2
a lot in the
followers
round
at
of
the
8,
beginning of
the
the
round of
stream,
16.
and their shit
But when
didn't
I
show
won,
up
Eclipse
on
was
the
in
all
the
chat.
map pool.
And that
It's
was
a map
on
I have good memories
Twitch,
on.
not on
I'll
Kick.
try and win this season once more.
So, Stream Elements
Looking
is having
forward
some
to seeing you
issue
play this season.
shit.
Congratulations on advancing. Thank you.
And some other shit is going on as well. Not quite sure.
And that does it for our interview with today's first place finisher, Light.
Light makes it out!
We'll take a short break.
You're retarded,
come back
Valiant
with the
boy.
losers And decide the matches.
Doesn't work on there for this, but there. It works on there for this. True.
Welcome back,
I'm
everybody.
still
It's
sick.
time to
You
go to the
don't
elimination
know
match. We got a
how.
PvP coming up here.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Valiant
yeah,
boy.
this could be
Mud
pretty
on my
fun.
nose.
I do think
what the
that
hell?
Bisu is quite a nice PvP player, but I've seen some Tyson
Your
PvP
mom's
lately,
mud
and it's
is
been
on
good
my
too.
nose.
Like he plays a pretty solid game.
I mean,
so
what?
Not sure what we're gonna see here. It's gonna be on Metropolis. Death Valiant Polestar being vetoed by these guys. So Metropolis PvP. I mean, you know, there's some big areas that you can fly your Reavers in, I guess there. But I'm not sure how much it'll affect this mirror matchup. I really don't know.
Mood overdose.
Yeah, I've been really kind of waiting for a PvP on this map. I'm really curious. I hope
Heard
we
a
get
good
couple
penis
PvPs
nickname
because some,
yesterday.
you know,
Okay,
some
Eggmail, let's
matchups
hear it.
become really
Let's hear it.
interesting
What
on
is it?
some maps. And
Bring
I feel
it.
like this
Bring it
is one
on.
of those maps
What
where
is it?
PvP,
Let us
feels
know.
like the guy that takes the first expansion loses, which was like an idea that was passed around a lot in the early days of PvP until people got really good at fast expanding.
Intercontinental
Kind of
meat
playing,
seeking pistol.
you know, games where you progress safely.
Pissile.
But this map, I mean,
That's fucking
so many things
great.
that could be punished from a
Intercontinental
player who
meat
tries to grow
seeking
too fast
pistol.
that it could make for a real knife fight.
Oh
in the
my
game.
god.
You know,
It's
one
so
where,
true.
You kind of want to sit back and
It's
just
so
keep pushing
true.
Or,
I
don't
love
know.
I
mean,
love
I'm
I love
super
language,
glad we have
man.
a
That's
PvP
so
on this
great.
map for these two.
This is a strange map.
Let's
man.
measure up, boys.
It's been
Who's
growing
the
on me a little
biggest?
bit, but it is very
Who's the
hard to play.
bitch?
And I haven't seen a
Fuck!
single PvP here yet, so I'm excited
Fuck!
to see what these guys are going to bring. Let's get into it. The loser match here.
Well,
Bisu versus Tyson.
it is what it is. Valiant boy, get your head out of your ass and stop fapping to the stream. I'm sorry, Valiant boy.
Bisu, top left, Tyson, bottom left.
I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. It was too good.
And,
You said my French is bad,
you know,
Valiant.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Artos, to see
Oh my fucking
if your memory is the
God.
same as mine. We've had a lot of games from Bisu where he's gone for 3-gate Dragoon.
Okay.
Like a lot on one
Okay.
base. This is not a
Go
map
ahead,
that
Valiant Boy.
says
Show us
that
what you're worth.
Probably won't have that.
Show us what you're worth. Do it right
but
this
On a
time.
map like this, it just feels like you've got to go Reaver. It's extremely strong. I feel like DTs, with few exceptions, maybe doesn't make as much sense. This
I
feels
tried
like
like a new
more
thing
of a
2
Reaver map
seconds
than any
after
other
to be
map
fucked
I
up
think we
by the
have
boss.
had in a long time.
I couldn't disagree with you there. The amount of space you have behind the natural, that's kind of hard to
True,
get
I would
into.
fuck
And
you
then
up.
just like how wide open the main bases are. Yeah, like just drop play in general, I think is so strong on Metropolis.
Yeah, and I think speed shuttle with Reaver, I should say. Just to emphasize what I mean. Like, what you can
Be
do
right
with a
back.
speed shuttle, not
Pills
just
time.
dropping behind
Coffee.
the minerals,
Sounds
the
good,
fact that
Valiant
the
Boy.
beams are
See you in a
big.
bit.
When
Coco.
you're running from Dragoons with a speed shuttle and Reavers, it'll run away faster than the Dragoons. So you can run, drop, push the Dragoons again, pick up, and run away again.
Back on the solids. A
So
woman
it
that's
just
no
feels
longer
like a map where
lesbian.
great control is going to be punished. And most other maps, you know, like you look at
Oh my
Polyploid,
God.
which I think is probably the most standard map right now.
Oh hell H-H-H-H-A
You can always get an expansion up. You don't have to go Reaver if you don't
I
want
agree,
to.
Valiant
You can
Boy.
play really clean game. You could go DT tech and get ahead, but this map feels pretty brutal for that.
I see what you mean. Yeah, you have like a lot of distance in that main base to micro back a Reaver. And like you could technically put your goons kind of way at the end of your base, but then the speed
Is that
shuttle
enough
could very
W's for
quickly
you?
switch to helping your opponent's Dragoons actually attacking your natural, so your units would be super out of position.
Really
so, yeah,
said
that does kind of make
W's
sense.
in
And
the
if
chat.
a game like that were to occur, it would
No, it's-
probably more likely be in Bisu's favor, just because that kind of empty, almost worthless
okay, I gotta
area
see if
for
I can
Tyson
find
is
it.
facing towards Bisu.
Yeah, that's true. I've heard you compare this before with, it's almost like you see it the same way like a Terran would see Mutalisks from. I don't think it's as punishing as that. I think you can always loop around and hit from other sides, because a lot of times what you're doing is you're setting up for a push and trying to get them in position, and then you just try to run into the main or run into the natural.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. A lot of times it's kind of dependent, not just on where the shuttle can
I
fly in,
can't
but
find it.
about if the Dragoons can push out.
Ate too many snails.
And, you know,
Yellow
PvP 's
creature
funny
from
because
Stranger
obviously
Things
Dragoons,
bit
they
a
can
thing
fight
into
shuttles
human.
and Reavers and
Bro, I wanna
everything like
throw
that,
up.
but you don't really have a lot of Dragoons right away, right? Especially if you're on one base or you know, getting a second base. So if you leave your base, oh, nice, he kills the scout there. If you're leaving your base with your Dragoons, if you don't have like maybe 2 to 3 back there, a shuttle and a Reaver can take that out.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm very interested in how this is going to be approached. I wouldn't be
Set
surprised if they go for the
Merde
Stork build, and oh my god, he
Jamas.
got a Citadel.
Le cliche.
Okay,
Oh, there it is. I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
Tyson.
He said he
Tyson's
never
going
eats
Citadel.
snails.
I think it's a
Wow.
robo. For
Shit,
Bisu.
I don't believe him.
Let's see. I was going to say, I think that both will do a
I
Stork
just
build,
realized
which
why
is
the
where you
back
get
of my head is
a
starting to
robo
hurt.
and then a second gateway in your base. And you're not expanding necessarily that fast, but you're not weak to anything.
Why is that a Stork build? Is that like something he was
I
known
forgot
for
to
in
take
PvP?
my fucking
Yes, he was
thing
very
out.
well known for doing. He's even done it in ASL to this day. It's like a very conservative.
hard
like,
right
I'm
now,
not going to
man.
die to DTs.
You know Pacific
if I
Place.
need to do a push later,
Yes.
I can do that. It won't
Yes,
be the
I
strongest
do,
push in the
Eggy
world.
Mayo.
I can also expand. It's like if you're going to teach somebody the way to play, it's a really good way to do it. Is you go for fast gas gateway, then a robo, then another gateway. You try to get information. And so, look, Bisu's going to go for an observer, so he's already in pretty good shape. And this is a build which looks to be possibly a fast expanding Reaver. We'll see if he gets a second gateway or not.
buying a phone charger there, and the guy in the
But
shop
basically,
would
you get
only
the observer
speak
and
French.
the robo support bay at the same time. You're kind of setting up to be safe.
Was he a French? Was he a French Canadian? What's he doing in BC?
Though that seems
French
like
Canadian.
so tech heavy to do that with one gate. And the one thing that I always wonder about for PvP, how do you make the decision? Because when you see the buildings all built like
He
this,
must have
oftentimes it
been.
goes something like shuttle, observer, reaver, right?
They're more rude than the
and
French.
Do you send the observer
That's hard
out?
to
Because
do.
That's
No
where
offense,
a lot of
Valium.
these DT plays can pick
All
up
the
victories
offense
you
to the
don't
French,
expect,
not to
where
you,
the observer
Valium.
is just kind of out of position when the DTs
Just
get
because
there.
you're French doesn't mean it goes to
So
you.
this looks like shuttle, observer,
No, I'm just kidding.
Reaver, and the idea is you get the shuttle, but you should have the observer in time. If it doesn't show up, then you send it out.
It's like
Now,
French
there may be
rudeness
some,
on steroids.
Gigabrain play here where he tries to
No,
go
it's
around.
just,
I've seen that before, and this is that play. God, I think
It's like there's two sides to French. It's a very romantic language, or it's a very obtuse language.
I'm sorry, where is the observer?
He hasn't made it yet. We've been like watching.
Like there's like loving French and there's hating French.
So the DT,
like in a way of speaking, right?
So there's a Reaver. He probably
like
has.
They're two sides
right
of the
now,
same coin, but
that's
it's like
a lot of damage
someone yelling in French, and then somebody whispering in your ear in French. It's like
to shake his head.
They're two completely different things. It's almost like they're two completely different languages.
This is. So
I just lost an ear hair. I will never hear this tone again in my life.
It seems like Bisu basically.
Bye tone. Whatever tone that ever was, it's gone now. And I will never hear it again.
And kind of thought, and he might have even have made shuttle speed here.
It's pretty true.
Off the one base,
Yup.
I'm not totally sure.
This. How do you ever come back from this? He lost so
when you hear the tone in your ear. That's an ear hair dying, and that's the last time you'll ever hear that tone. Because each tone is actually just a single hair in your inner ear. And the more hairs you lose on your inner ear, the less less tones that you
so
can
he gets
hear.
the one Reaver out. He drops his
That's why you gotta take very good K.
He somehow only gets one probe with that shot. Fires another shot at the Dragoon because he will kill it with that. Workers have been pulled. The majority of what Tyson has is still here, though. He drops again. He gets what looks like a... Okay, great shot there. So this is what I was trying to allude to earlier, is that these mains are so big. You can kind of run away. He's probably going back to get a second Reaver. No, he's going to loop back in. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I hope we catch this on camera. Okay. Oh, my God. You see what he's trying to do, right? He's looking for the probes. Oh, my God. They're just going to barely get by.
Well, he made Tyson turn around completely with his probes. There's a lot of lost mining time there. Tyson still has way more probes than Bisu. He has a lot of like Dragoons.
I come here for goose and goons and not education.
I don't know where this really goes from here. I feel like Bisu has already done a lot to start fighting back, at least. Just getting some probes, some lost mining time, picking off a few extra units. Those are really important things that he just pulled off with that Speed Shuttle Reaver.
I will say, from the perspective of Tyson, it's not a comfortable game. He doesn't have observers. He doesn't know where his opponent is. Right now, he's got observers, so he can stalk the army. He also can kind of see, okay, you're out on the map, then your main's not protected. I think Bisu basically wants to try to shut down and push in the front, and then he could probably try to get somewhat of a lead here.
Yeah, if he can smash this.
You learn something new every day, right?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, you can't break through there. It's impossible.
No way, no way. Great shot. Pops one Dragoon.
Yeah, so cherish that sound.
I'm actually kind of excited for this Tyson going through this. It's like kind of cathartic. I'm like watching a guy that like should win these games. He gets way ahead and then he's like, I don't know, and then he just loses anyways. It's like kind of reminds me of my own ladder streams, but it's kind of crazy because like he killed so many probes.
Vancouver drunk people are even worse than 2018.
Just, like,
oh fuck yeah! I couldn't imagine that. I left in 2020.
Oh, dude,
so
this is so smart.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
really tight games.
Don't go near Hastings, bro. Don't go near Hastings. Stay on waterfront.
It's very hard to get an observer over there.
Definitely stay on waterfront.
Control. That's when hidden bases are kind of the best. He also went for a rowboat. That's very, very cool. So I think he's.
But most places by like the ocean are fine because they tend to be more of the fancier places.
Dragoons and play this out.
I'm staring at the far end of Granville
If you see an
Street.
opening, you can get there before your opponent can.
Interesting.
The DT's going to try to run in. Is there an observer back in
there? There is an observer, but it's only 2 goons.
Oh my God! But there's only 2, and 1 Dragoon is a pacifist.
So he's actually microing elsewhere, so he didn't even notice. So this is possibly going to get a lot of probes up here. Bisu
Welcome back, Valiant Boy.
Okay, just noticed, just now. So 3 kills already on this, and that's some great micro from Bisu. He actually glitched it a lot, but that's 5 more kills. So Bisu's probe count is still pretty garbage.
Yeah, he's working with very little right now. But
This
he does
is
have
crazy,
a tactical edge with the
guys.
shuttle and the
This is
Reaver, if he can
crazy.
find those opportunities. And I think that Tyson is kind of being a genius right now by just sort of staying back. He's got a roaming group of Dragoons, and then he's got stuff on his high ground that just will never lose to Reavers. And so what Bisu's doing is he's starting to hunt down these stray Dragoons and try to pick them off. Now he's got to be careful because he could be chased right back into the hidden base that he's trying to keep. So he's going to try and move up. He does run into a pylon, so he can take that out.
Shouldn't he mine out those
Bisu's
minerals there so that he can move up and down the ramp more cleanly against possible Reaver pushes?
Yeah, sure. I think that's a good idea.
Okay. Okay, that's all I had to say, Tasus. You go ahead.
True, brother,
like
true.
It's not that terrible getting them up and down ramps if they're not fighting. It's when they're fighting that's a real headache. But yeah, no, I mean, that makes sense. Just make that a bigger exit, make it easier for you. Bisu has not seen the base, so he may think that he's actually steadily expanding ahead. But he's probably also suspicious at this point in time. When the game feels too quiet and too good to be true, you want to start looking for hidden bases.
Yeah,
A great
that's the
counterattack by
moment when you know
Dragoons.
something's wrong.
There might not be enough to defend over here.
Kind of smart, but Bisu is hunting down this other group, so if he can kill that off, that would be pretty big. Now, Tyson pushing in. There is another Reaver that just popped out for Bisu, so I think he will end up holding this, but he's losing some more probes there. Not that many, though.
I think Bisu might come in here to intercept. By the way, they are even on base numbers.
Bro,
but
people
there are
just
more
blow up
resources
their
in the
brain
main
with
to take
fentanyl
it
in
here.
New York streets.
So there's
That's
more
death
probes over
100
here.
more hard than
Beautiful
morphine and
Reaver
heroin.
usage over
True,
here.
Valiant Boy,
Just
true.
thins out these numbers, keeps the two Reavers alive. So Tyson has more workers and he has more patches to mine from. So this is why Tyson is starting to get further ahead in the gateway count. We're getting up to, I think, 5 or 6 gateways back at home for him.
Bisu is like kind of out-maneuvering and out-controlling Tyson, though. This almost feels like a game where, first off, if Bisu like ends up winning because he disables
My
the
French
army
bro
really well,
says these
it
guys,
could almost be
poor
one of those games
souls.
where you're like, you had a hidden base. He's like, what? Right? Those are always really kind of funny, but also, like, I could see him scouting that way later and be like, oh, that's why this game is so hard. I felt like I was killing him.
By the way, Bisu is not going to have to deal with Reavers. This is what you were talking about earlier, Toast. It's like, this is so hard to fight.
He traveled.
Yeah, how do you
Nice.
even
He's just going
approach
to deny the Nexus. And look, you could actually just pick him up and run back. It's like, what are you going to do now? Whoa.
Wow, just barely
wow.
saves it. That was one Reaver hit from death, that Nexus. Now
I
it's
wonder
actually
if
really
Bisu
hurt.
gets shuttle scarab damage. Sorry, Artosis, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think he probably should, but you got to imagine that Tyson's thinking about Psystorm at some point here as well, which does become a pretty reasonable counter against the Reavers.
College is less than high school in
that's
French.
basically when
That
Reavers
means
lose a
he
lot
was
of their
the same
oomph.
at college. At same
Yeah, so
college,
he's
I
got those
think it's
Templars
mid-school.
coming out now. No scout here at this bottom base, but keep in mind, I mean,
Education's kind of fucked,
this
bro.
position, just like we were talking about, it's like it's just really hard to defend this. Oh my God!
Yeah, you might want to even leave a couple units back there. Like leave a Zealot
Yeah, I
and
think
a
so.
Dragoon or something. Just something to like screw it up so it slows down the damage. But here comes this Reaver push now. Bisu kind of going for the throat. I imagine Psystorm is just barely not ready.
It's going to be
Also, he
Bisu
needs
versus
to
Killer,
mine out those
I
minerals on
think.
that ramp. But yeah, Bisu pushing in. He's going to be able to kill this Nexus, it looks like. Throws a bunch of pylons down there, maybe to like aggro shots a little bit. Bisu, I think
This
he's
is
starting to figure
scary.
out there must be something else on the map. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
Look,
think
he's just
that's
thinking
what-
about
yeah.
the line to the bottom right. He's like, this isn't right. You can't. Like, you weren't even mining from this and you have that much. This isn't right.
Okay, I think he should know.
Oh no, now
Oh
the
my God, I didn't
counterattack.
realize these were up here. He's going to keep the shuttle alive. There's a huge counterattack. I don't know how well this is going to go, though. What an insane game this is, dude. This is a
Insane.
great PvP.
Because it's the natural
Can
versus
his
an
counterattack
expansion.
kill Bisu? Because, like, he's going to lose this base. He can't save this base.
Bisu should go up onto his ramp with the Reavers and the Dragoons and just camp.
Oh, my God, you're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
I
If he
think you
gets
just literally give
Psystorms,
up your base.
the Psystorms
Now
can
he-
really make a difference.
Okay, he needs to get that shuttle active with this fight. I think these Templars are a little bit kind of behind where they need to be. He storms. I don't think the Bisu's even looking at this.
Barely. He needs a couple more good storms in here for sure. Okay, throws a very good one down.
I think Bisu's going to
Very
lose.
little actually left. He's going to kill a ton of probes here as well. Tyson has remade his Nexus, by the way. Oh my God, that shuttle has to be low, and so are the Reavers. He's going to pick one Reaver off there. Oh,
Here goes the shuttle.
Oh my God! I think he can kill it.
An Archon.
Okay, he's got 2 Reavers alive. I think this Templar has, yeah, that's got energy.
Oh, he almost killed it.
Oh,
This is the craziest
he's coming
game.
back.
He's got a GT now.
I don't believe that Tyson is mined out, but he's almost mined out in his main. And Bisu would not be his mined out because he lost too many workers because of the DTs at the start. This is an insane game, man.
Tyson really should have beaten Light and Bisu, in my opinion, here, and I think Bisu's so far ahead now that he should be.
New York
able
City
to
is
win
maybe
from
the only
here, I
place I
think.
didn't see zombie levels of drug use in North America.
So.
Well,
yeah, the storm was pretty sick.
I mean, maybe you're in a nicer part of town. I don't know. It's hard to go to Vancouver without seeing some druggies, though.
Dragoons are killing off the base in the bottom right. Now, Zealots with speed and Dragoons and Templars, that's a lot harder to control from Bisu. I don't see Reavers moving out, but I would have to imagine, yeah, he's kind of remade that tech. I think he sort of knows for where this game is.
Yeah, it was very everywhere in Vancouver, Seattle, Portland.
The base that Tyson has taken is going to be very easy to hit with Reavers in a way that you
Scary
just can't
times
really
we
take
live in,
advantage of
guys.
with
Scary
Templars.
times.
By the way, Tyson never got shuttle speed or any Reaver tech for that matter. So he can't do these kind of crazy storm drops that can sometimes... Oh my God!
That would have been huge. He does have some size storms here. Dude, don't lose those High Templars without casting their storms, please. Cast one, but Bisu runs away immediately. It looks like we have another set of counterattacks here. Tyson is going to hit first, but the Reavers coming back force him to turn around. I think, dude, Bisu has just...
yeah, I think Bisu's going to
really
win.
kind of outmaneuvered him.
This is unfortunate. I'd love to see Tyson move on.
World class here from Bisu, minus his original build, which was maybe a little bit too greedy. He basically went for the speed shuttle build.
Yeah, I think that's GG. He doesn't even have his own Reavers.
Just late enough, it got punished by DTs, but basically everything he's done after this is great. I think this is actually the last few moments of this game here.
I believe so. I
Called
tell
it.
you, this has been every game just about has just gone tipsy-turvy on its head the entire time.
Yeah, this has been an insane series.
Tyson loses first, and you can see Bisu's like, oh my God. That was a hard game. Tyson got really, really far ahead, but Bisu, it felt like strategically, the plan of Tyson went over perfectly the entire time, and Bisu just out-finessed him. He out-microed, he
I go shit, take a shit.
Tyson had
okay,
every advantage.
keep those words in your head. Will you take a shit, Valiant boy?
Man.
Go on the throne.
I really feel bad for Tyson.
Bro, I'm literally pooping
he
now.
So well. In a very different flavor of games from him. But,
oh my God.
He's going to be going up against Killer here in a rematch.
Synchronized to talk fan
I'm blown away.
poops.
What a game. That was just a phenomenal PvP, and this man shows why he's the level that he is. Crazy games out of him tonight. He's going to have a rematch against Killer here to see who gets second place in this group, Group D. And I gotta tell you, he really outplayed Killer that last time.
We have a good time. We have a good time here, guys.
Yeah, let's not forget the way he lost was super rare to see in an ASL. Anyways, guys, short break, and then our final match in a little bit.
Oh my God. Valiant, let's do a no wipe challenge. First one to give up and wipe.
What's up, everybody?
Has to gift 50 subs.
To our final match.
Damn.
This is a rematch. Bisu losing to Killer in honestly a really cool game until the very last seconds where we realized he forgot side storm. He went for a two-gate play, putting pressure on, denying the third. Eventually getting an expand up, trying to counter Killer's mutas. went hard into Corsairs to counter the Mutas. Would not back down. I've never seen a second Stargate in a PVZ, with a game that's gone on for that long. Normally you see
At
two
uni,
Stargates.
we did
it's like
Poo
really
Mountain, where we
fast.
refused
It's like
to
one
flush the
Stargate and then
toilet
but
for a week.
He made it work. All he had to do was have a couple storms on the Hydras, and he probably would have won that, but he lost. He's redeemed himself. He's back. Now we're going to go to ratings.
Oh my fucking god.
He's lived through
some, that's actually better than a double decker.
Let's see if
I'm gonna say that's actually, because that's like
ASL Season 19.
teamwork, like why am I trying to say coercion? Cooperation. A double decker is when you take a shit in a urinal. Or sorry, upper decker, not a double deck, an upper decker. Upper decker. My bad. Yeah, you take a shit in a urinal. Wait.
BC here in the top.
Hold on. If you didn't know that, you've never seen this. Oh, I can't find it. But in South Park, Craig has like an arc of doing like upper deckers, and it's like continuously like
Up left,
called out.
Killer in the bottom right.
It's fucking hilarious. Oh, on
Guys,
school trip
we've been
there was a
meaning to do it,
unisex toilet, and the girl
haven't
washed her hands in the
Sign up for
urinal
the
because she'd
Patreon.
never seen one before
Make
and
it
thought
count.
it was a weird
Support
sink.
us.
Oh my
It means the
fucking
world to us. We couldn't do it without you guys. Thank you so much. We love you guys.
Thank you very much, everyone. It's a big appreciation to everyone who's been supporting for so long. You guys are the best.
Fuck, man,
So,
that
cross spawn here.
sucks.
I think Killer, he's playing pretty well today. I was a
remember
little bit
her
disappointed
hands
with
with those
how aggressive he
little
got against
lemon
Light, but looking at the replay,
You're okay?
kind of understand it more. He was
Oh
clearly
my
planned all
fucking
in.
god.
I mean, if you're sitting there on
Oh
only
my
24 drones,
fucking
you
god.
can't end the game. You can't-
I've
you
never
can't make that
ever
magically go
even
into a
thought
macro
about
game.
that, but that is too
But
fucking
yeah,
funny.
I don't know.
Because now thinking about
he
it,
played pretty well against Bisu overall.
yeah,
This was
I
just
thinking
kinda
about it,
out
I'm
of
sure that happens
it's
a
very
lot
similar to
more
the Tyson
often
game
than you
in
might
some ways, although
actually think.
Killer ended up winning because of lack
That's
of size.
fucked up though. Some weird goat farm in
Right.
France. That's fucked up.
This game, Bisu is going
It's
to
a
be
good
going
time.
for, I think, the Gateway expand. Yeah.
One of my
So
friends
this is
when I was
Bisu
in
doing
elementary
what's
school,
worked
like
before.
7 or
I
8,
do
got
think
pink
when
eye
Bisu
from
pulled
washing
out
her
that
hair in the
build
toilet because she didn't want to have a
on,
shower.
Eclipse
thought it was
earlier,
annoying. She's
it
like,
did
"Why don't you
almost
choose
seem
the
like a move
toilet?"
where Bisu's like, he's trying
she
to
got
win
pink
the whole
eye.
tournament, so he's going to pull out some unusual builds he won't be needing for later on.
Things
He
kids
probably
do,
won't try
man.
that
They just
versus
don't think
Sulky,
outside the box.
or
Yeah.
Hero, but
Yeah.
against, somebody who's what you might call a round of 24 player, that's something he can pull
I'm
out.
trying to think of something that, like, what's
gonna be,
the fucked up? Because there has to be
a
something, right?
useful
Like,
item to
what's the
research for
fucked
his
up thing that
opponents.
I
But
did when I was a
now
kid?
that his tournament life's on the line, he's going to go with what we've seen him do a lot of, which is basically the classic gateway opener, which I actually still feel like
It's
Bisu
not
is
that
one of
that.
very
The
best
only
in
thing
the
I can think
world
of is
with this
like,
opener. He knows how to set this up into a lot of different builds. He knows when to run away with the Zealots, when to dive.
I mean, I
in.
guess I don't know how common this is, but
out of all the players that we've
up until
had
I was like
in ASL,
6,
he might be the
I would
best
drink
just
like
kind of
straight from the faucet, like put my
being
mouth on the
Slurp
faucet
zealots
and just like
kinda controlling
slurp
what they're doing and
straight from the
forcing more lanes
faucet.
and optimizing play.
And I do that with like
would say-
water fountains.
Again, I like.
I do that with like
actually,
anything.
Probably Bisu is the Protoss player that I watch.
You still do that,
And
but
I would
I was
say
gonna
my
preface
opinion
that
is,
with
someone that's not as expert.
when my
at
parents tried to
this
get rid
matchup
of
as-
like me
as
using a
anyone
soother.
Terran in it, but like
they cut the nip
it feels to
off
me like Bisu, I would
and
say
threw it in
for
the
sure has
garbage,
the
and I
best
would pull it
Corsair
out of the
in world.
garbage and put
I
it back
think
in my
he has the
mouth
best
until I
Zealots
was
in
like
the world.
5.
Like every time I cast a Bisu game, his Zealots just do more and are in better positions than everyone else's. Maybe I could hear someone arguing for me on that, but like
I like
for
my
money,
soother,
I think
okay?
Bisu's the best of Zealots.
Commitment to the nip, but it was gone. It was cut off. It was just the it was just literally the end piece. Like I had just enough to hold my teeth together to freaking hold it in my mouth, and then like
speaking my love language, tastes
like suck it up to my
I
mouth.
just went back. I heard I put garbage on my mouth.
Like yes, Tasis is why we're together for so long.
Valiant Boy, when I was like up until I was like between like 3 and 5, my parents tried to get me to stop using a pacifier, and they'd cut the nipple off and throw it in the garbage, and I'd pull it out of the garbage and still. But then my like sister had one because I had a younger sister, so it's like I would take hers. Valium must eat a lot of fiber because I'm still working at it.
Really nice solid movement here. You know, the fact that it grow and cause some lost mining time and force these lanes.
Average shit length 25 to 45 minutes.
Home, so everything looking pretty solid for Bisu.
I eat fiber regularly.
Doesn't seem like Bisu was too greedy behind this.
Okay, can you tell the guy behind to
went
shut
for the
up when
Forge
someone
first,
talking
getting the
he's not
cybernetic
educated
scroll, he's
XD?
transferring to pros now. And we got to see what kind of tech he's going to have. There are a lot of different games you can play post.
True Valiant Boy.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if he just went for, you know, Corsairs, you know, with +1 and obviously Zealots with +1 and speed. I feel like that's usually his strongest play. We have had people like Mini who've gone for straight DT rushes a lot off one base.
What's this about American Sign Language?
Success,
no, it's
really
Africa Star
much.
League.
Style, maybe a little bit older.
The
Not
ASL.
You know, worse or better,
Season
but,
19. Welcome, Levi. How's it going, bro? Welcome to the stream, good sir.
Really, really long time.
Did
when
you
he was
stream
coming
today?
Up as Protoss, you know, he's called the Revolutionist for a reason. He changed how PvZ is played.
Yes.
Like he's
Bisu
maybe the most impactful player in the history of the game, other than maybe Boxer or something, you know. And honestly, no one, what Boxer
did a short
taught us,
stream,
no one does
just some
anymore.
Rim
It's
World.
not really that worthwhile.
Nice.
So like,
well,
I would give it to Bisu, honestly.
Good
a lot of
shit,
what
Levi.
What Boxer taught us was like you can actually do all this extra damage by just controlling units really well.
Yeah, like he was the master of
kind of like, oh, this guy's like
micro.
vultures, or he does Marine SCV rushes.
Underslept last night, so I don't have a lot of energy today. Yeah, I'm tired as fuck. That's why we're watching the ASL. I'm just doing lazy as fuck stream today.
Strong versus Protoss, and Protoss,
but it's my Friday, so we'll get some sleep. We'll do some changes to the stream and shit. We'll get everything fucking sorted out with like the, because now we know how to do the variables for like gifted subs, number of subs, and resubs, and I have the clips lined up for what I want for each of those, so it's perfect. And then all I need to do is new commands, new things in the store, and there was one more thing that I was gonna do.
You don't DT rush Zerg, you DT rush.
Oh, I was gonna figure out and fix the alerts because for some reason it's all fucked up.
But he goes, no, actually.
But it is what it is.
And then you send DTs
we'll figure it out.
And you're kind of hitting him everywhere.
Oh, new emotes. That was the other thing. New emotes. I have like 10 ideas for new emotes.
While we're kind of talking about this, we're just watching like a beautiful Zealot micro. Not that one, but the ones before in the third base were phenomenal. The Corsair actually flew in and saw this is not a Spire build, but instead a layer Hydralisk build. So, you know, that can mean that...
Yeah, my day at work today was lazy as fuck. I sat down all day, did fuck all.
Although,
it was so slow.
It's obvious that Bisu can't just make Corsairs non-stop here. He's definitely going to have to get into a Psy Storm. He's going to have to remember to get that up.
And it was very overwhelming. Oh, yup. True, brother.
This build is... Wait,
is that 2 Templar Archives?
Did I see that correctly? Yeah, if you saw the same thing I did, I saw
I thought I did, but... That doesn't
thought Walmart
like
didn't let you sit?
Well, if he has 2, then he'll never forget it.
They don't value.
Maybe he wants Kadarian and emulate at the same time.
Overcorrection.
I have my ways to make my managers do what I want.
It's like, certainly I won't miss it now.
I'm really...
Okay, so that one's going to finish. Let's see if he finds this. By the way, I mean, that's so much wasted gas.
That is...
2 Templar Archives.
How much is it? Is it 150?
People in the YouTube comments... Before you even ask, there's not like a get Psystorm and the Templar energy upgrade, okay? It's not a thing, so he does cancel it. The Templar Archives, I think it's 200 gas.
Okay. Yeah, that's expensive.
Yeah, it's a crazy amount of gas.
Protoss tech buildings actually do cost a lot of gas.
Oh, it's
true.
Crazy, man. It's like it's why it's so hard.
Zealots are so good, and they're only 100.
Tech switch and just
no gas.
Off guard. You just have all these expensive
Walmart
things that can't
is
really do anything.
the...
With the exception of Templars, a lot of the Protoss units are only good in very specific situations.
Man, I do not give a damn about those vampire nerds.
April Fools.
They didn't even fit into the existing power system, so it was hard to use them to gauge
if
the
you have
strength
mass
of
Corsairs
characters.
and then they just get enough Hydras and kill you, you're gone,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But
for
like,
sure.
you know, if you get enough Templars and then they get Mutas in there, they snipe that, you're dead. So it's like, it's tricky.
There's a lot of stuff in Bleach that's kind of like
Archives, it would just been so
it's
bad
probably more
because it's
coherent
already
in the
200 gas
manga
down
than
the
it is
toilet.
in the anime.
So he's trying to set up for a little bit of
For
a pressure play
Walmart
here with
and
speed
it's
lots and a
our
DT.
whole country.
Um,
True Valiant
and
boy.
he's gonna try to come in here.
There's not that
Yeah,
many,
there's so many like
icos in there. He
useless
slips the
characters
DT,
that are
trying to
kind of
slip the DT back,
introduced.
but it looks like he'll pull
like,
that back right now. Just outside of that Overlord.
And even the
vision
way
range, but the
like
Overlords have speed,
some
so
of the
he'll move that
characters
in
like
and be able to push it back.
the enemies
Pretty
and
good
stuff die
job
is
screwing up
ridiculous.
the AI with the drones
but it's
overall,
like
I'd
the
say.
power
Didn't
jump,
really
you
take
know?
that much damage here. He lost a decent amount of Hydras, but I feel like that was a pretty good block.
Yeah, it's always tricky. You know, do you want to commit in there?
I feel like
and try to
Chad
kill
is starting to
workers,
become
but
really
possibly lose all
useless.
your zealots? I was wondering if he was going to go
think
for
Walmart's
the evolution chamber. I've
family
seen
are
plays
the
like
most
that where occasionally if the
wealth,
Evo chamber's
top
kind of
10
sticking
richest.
out, there's not a scary amount of Hydras. You just run in there and kill it.
Average
and run out.
Walmart size of
I've seen that.
Belgium and has
One thing
more
I want to mention is the
culture.
Spire just finished, and he's had 3 gas a long time. I think we are going to see, because there's not that many Corsairs, and he killed one, I think we are going to see a big group of Mutas come out for sniping
I can't deny that.
High Templar. I
Yeah,
mean, pretty
Chad,
surprised he doesn't do that from here. It feels like a perfect time.
I don't know. It's like
And,
he's
you know, with
like
the way
meant
this
to
game is
kill.
sizing up, I
Like,
don't know if he's
like
going to get a Dark Archon. We saw 5
he's meant to like
Templars,
kill
which
the
seems,
the
like
Bro
maybe
Valiant,
trash.
what is this eng? A knowledge of a 12-kid school, fuck
But
you,
if he
you.
goes for the Mutas,
Went to a Walmart in Virginia,
you can
so
try to
big it had
protect him with
toilets at
Corsairs,
both
but generally,
sides.
if you don't have the +1 air attack, like you haven't been fighting the Mutas the whole time, I feel like a Dark Archon's usually a good choice to try to catch stuff.
True. Best is the only one that does that all the time. Like, Best will never miss an opportunity for Dark Archon, really in any matchup. And there are none in TVP, really, but you know, I don't feel like I see Bisu do that often. Now, if he had let that genius second Templar Archives finish, he could have gotten Maelstrom at the same time.
Chad's
Then
big
I'd be
strength
like, yeah, man,
is that
you
he's
really
tough,
know what you're doing,
but they keep using him to show how
I
strong
think even
enemies
then he
are,
wouldn't
so he
have
doesn't look that tough.
The price of the DTs is just
Yeah, and then it's
Yeah, I
always
mean, you
like
basically
small
gotta go
scale, small
Storm,
fries.
and then Maelstrom, and then if you can get the energy upgrade here, but
And you're a virgin?
you know, what Killer's got right now looks pretty good.
What?
You should get a shot of the main Protoss army. I, wanna see
I don't think
exactly
Valley Boy
what he's got.
understood that one
What is
in
that, 5
Virginia.
Corsairs, maybe?
something like that. It's pretty low. It's pretty low. I actually thought he had
Yeah.
like 3, but it looks like it might be just slightly more, like 4.
Bro.
And he did lose 1 Corsair this game already. Yeah, maybe 4
So
or 5. 4 or 5 he has
confused.
there.
Oh, he's keeping 2 Templars back here.
Okay.
Also, it's really hard
That's
to
kind of
understand the
interesting.
whispering.
Is that like in
I've
case
seen it
harassment
also-
comes, or?
I don't know. Maybe he realized he overmade and wants to put some back there. I have seen shuttle play, by the way, where you put the Templars in the shuttle. And when they target the shuttle, you like unload them.
I'm
and
so
it's
tired.
Like,
Valium
it's close,
is
but a lot
less
of times,
funny
you know,
days
maybe
after
one Templar
days.
dies, but the
That's
rest
the
live
end.
because Mutas.
Boo!
The rate in which you can unload a shuttle.
Get good,
apparently,
Valium Boy.
And the rate at which
Learn to draw
the
your
Mutas
inner
will do
strength
damage
and
to it
be
is enough
like
to pretty much
awake
get all
while
the
you're
Templars back out.
asleep,
So it's a really
and then you
weird,
can sleep while you're
frankly, very
awake,
hard to pull off
and
move,
then you
but
don't
I've
have to
seen
worry
it,
about
but we don't
sleeping.
have it right now.
It's
No.
called a night self,
In fact,
or a
we-
night
the
person.
Robo's about to finish.
I feel like the way the observer's looking at that, he might think that's a mistake, like that was a misclick. The way that he keeps showing it, it's like, these, like, there's no real reason for those to be there.
Well, it could be a bad rally, and he just so happens to have made 2 Templars, and we're going to see like a Dragoon there and a Zealot, and it's going to
Who
become
knows?
obvious. But yeah, it just seems
now
like a
it's
very strange
10:37
spot.
a.m.
I
Doing
gotta
that
say,
is illegal.
You know, Bisu, he's like playing both good and bad today.
Yeah.
Like,
It
he's
is
got real moments
2:37
where he looks
a.m.
Perfect, and then
So
these
you're
periods where it's
off
like, he
by
forgot to storm,
8
or he has 2
hours,
Templar Archives, and
Valiant
it's
Boy.
like, whoa, man, you're kind of.
He's very relatable today. Today, his games today are like that picture of Keanu Reeves eating a sandwich on a bench or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like, oh, he's a human too. He has to have lunch. Wow, just like me. And Yeah, it kind of feels like that, where I'm like, okay, this isn't the perfect
Oh
plan.
shit,
but
the storm!
Muta's
I
diving
got
in
the
right
good way to
now,
wake up. Kick my
and
face
they
with
do
good
go after
slaps.
the High Templars. He gets a storm off. That storm wasn't very good. He will be able to clear those very quickly, and more High Templars are coming down.
That's
got
your
to
face,
storm these
Valium
Hydras.
boy. Take it.
Okay, he's hitting, and I mean, where are the storms? Okay,
There's one.
There's another wave of Hydras
Yeah, that's
coming up.
my
I'm
boy,
not
he
clear on the
understood.
energy for these two. It looks like they actually really don't have enough. I think Bisu could be in trouble, Artosis.
Yeah, this is a little bit close.
True.
He's going to pull back to his cannons, though, so maybe he can still weather this. Don't forget, Killer's only on 3 base.
Is Killer gonna
So
kick
Bisu
Bisu
holds
out of the
3
fucking
base,
ASL?
He's going to be ahead, but that's a lot of Hydras hitting his third.
Oh my
Okay, he's got
god.
another
Okay, there's
great
another storm.
In between the Dragoons and the cannons.
Bro, I
Looks
wanna
like this
get the
last
live
cannon could be picked up.
muck
Results are going to trickle down
spicy.
here. I think Bisu might barely have enough.
I
He
think
needs to
so.
keep
Maybe,
having barely
one day.
enough storms. He has to remake these cannons. You know, it's frankly been a kind of sloppy game here. I don't see more mutas made, by the way, like we saw with True. So the Templars, I think he should
Valium,
just
do you have a
barely enough
job?
storms. We've got Dragoons coming down.
True,
I don't even think
Eggy.
there's an observer in this mix because why would he need one? He doesn't see any lurkers.
He just made a
toke
big
time
move.
it is!
I just saw his gas
To
go
wake
from
up?
1200 to 500
Okay,
in the
Valium
blink
boy.
of an eye.
Yeah, I
So
don't know. I don't
think-
remember last time I took a toke.
Unless there's randomly a bunch of lurkers being made, which this game doesn't feel like that to me. I think we're
It's
about to see
in
what
the
Muta talk about.
couch.
I think he probably watched True Play. He's like, oh, I want to do that to Bisu.
So, I mean, he's got to make it work again. If he doesn't, it's just a 3-base Zerg. Like, these Zergs look scary, but if they don't get anything done, the Protoss eventually is too powerful. They've got, 20 Dragoons. They've got all the Storms they need and the Zealots, and they can take a 4th base. And, Zerg is very pushable when they lose the fight. There's no lurkers. There's no sunks. It's all
I have a
about
silly email
pushing
job.
down
That
the
means I can
middle
watch
of the map.
talks
Oh,
for a
wow, he went
living.
air attack. I feel like I...
Thank you, Eggy Mayo. I
maybe
appreciate
that's
it.
common. I feel like I haven't actually seen that often, but it makes perfect sense if you're trying to snipe Templars.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Because nowadays it's really common meta to
You're
go
getting
plus 2 armor
paid.
right away, right? So that kind
To
of
be
makes sense when you
entertained
think about
and
it, that
to
Zerg would
goon.
counter that with
That's
getting a +1,
hardcore, bro.
air attack.
Not a lot of people can say
I've
that.
seen a lot of armor upgrades, in general, if you're going to try to make it work with mutas, but I guess this is kind of a different approach.
Bro,
Yeah, it's
so
not about the
lucky.
mutas
I
versus
got
lurkers,
good
it's
weed
about the mutas
watching me
killing
right
the
now,
Templar.
but less than $40, and I go see my
Right,
mama
exactly.
and low
Actually,
Valiums,
crazy
bro, this
storms,
week.
all things
He
considered,
will
I
turn
think he's gonna
7,
keep at
my
least 2
sweetheart,
Templars
bro.
alive.
Alright,
He does, but
Valium
he's gonna
boy.
get a really... Okay, there's another great storm. I think he has one more that's about to happen.
Tell him happy birthday for me.
Oh, and he has another one come down. He has a lot of Zealots. Yeah, he's going to
Okay.
crush, I think. That's
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
That is game.
He had it. He had it, but he was only on 3
You do not
bases.
come back from that.
He
Beautifully played
he
by
threw away
Bisu.
everything.
It looks
He's
scary.
down. He's
Yeah,
under
bro.
72 supply.
He's going to take his 4th base, and
I
this is
talk about you to
basically,
my mom
impossible
and
to
him.
come back from.
Yeah,
Not
man.
only is BC
Get them to
pushy,
start
but there
watching the
probably aren't
stream, or
any
at least like
real
listen.
powerful
Send them to the
defenses back at home.
YouTube.
No lurkers,
Guys,
maybe not even a
guys,
lurker tag.
get all your friends. Send them to the
colonies. You
YouTube.
can see that this 4th
The
base
talks
can't even
clips.
restart. He's going to
Or no,
regroup.
he
He's gotta
talks
be patient.
stories.
You want to be careful to
Jesus.
not push in too deep if you don't have
Valley of
side
Mom
storms.
Twitch.
As long as you have 1 or 2
I
side
tell us
storms ready
that
to
I'm
go, it's
moderating
probably
and
okay,
talking
because the
about
Zerg is
you.
gonna have to try to
Well,
run
that's
through the
good to
storm
know,
while
Valium
they're
boy.
taking
I'm
damage.
glad. My mom
You
was
just
like, "Oh,
keep
that's
pushing.
cool."
There it is, GG.
Nice.
So Bisu
Get
and
her to
Light
listen to my
advance.
stories, bro.
It's funny.
Send
it's
them
like the
to
players that we
the
expected to
It Talk
advance,
Stories.
the players that we
And
don't
Bisu
want
is
to
in the
advance, no
ASL.
disrespect to Tyson and Killer.
Round of 16. Let's
but
go,
the stories
boys.
in these games are awesome.
Yes, yes.
I mean,
The games today were
results, but the way we
incredible.
got here was crazy.
So far, this is, I think this has
Absolutely,
been the
and this is
best
what I was talking
ASL
about,
ever
the
as far as
best of
games
one.
go.
I'm
Like,
anything could really happen in
every
this group. I
game
think
from
we saw
A to
that.
D has been
Like,
fucking
Tyson had Bisu
godlike.
dead. Tyson had Light dead. He lost both those games because they're just better players. And
Yep.
obviously Killer took a game off Bisu there as well. Like those are. This was a much closer group than I think when you look at the names on paper you would ever imagine.
True.
Yeah. Fun games, man.
Yeah.
Also, I do like how you point out it's like he's very relatable. It's like when you look at different heroes, like in movies, like sometimes it's the action hero that like it looks unstoppable, like Rambo, can't feel pain. But then you have like an Indiana Jones hero where it's like they're barely making it.
Yeah.
That was Bisu here with his like forgetting Storm in one game and then double
I'm
Templar
glad you're
Archives in the
talking
next.
about me to other people, Valium boy. I switch kick Twitch
he showed his level
today.
Though. It was awesome. Oh,
What?
what?
Okay.
Did he magic box himself?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. That was a little bit dirty. And in fact,
totally
he stormed his
missed that.
own zealots there at the beginning of the battle.
Yeah, I
This
saw
is
that. Like
where
switching with
Killer
girl
actually
boobies.
had potential. This is where he almost got into the third.
You mean
base
like
and everything
me?
as well?
Yeah. Great side storms.
Me pulling out my
Testament
tits.
to Bisu's macro. He's got just
Being a good
enough
time?
probes, to power out from these gateways and just enough cannons to keep safe.
Suckling on those nips.
Right when it looks like he might be destabilized and lose.
Yeah, he really just barely held this. It would have been like a much stronger hold if those
I'm
three
talking
High
about
Templars had
Twitch
basically just stormed
and
themselves.
K.
You know, if you just add
I'm so
one or two storms
like
into
switching
some of
with
these
girl
battles, it's
boobies.
not
I don't
even
know what
close.
that means.
But of course, that's
Bro
the
really said
strategy that
me?
Killer chose. Like he wanted to do
You
a
said
3-base
like switching
Hydra
with
all-in
girl
clear.
boobies, and I was
And you
like,
just have
wait,
to
you
pick
mean
off the
like
High
me
Templars to make that
putting
work.
my boot? Like my, I'm so confused.
Bisu with a lot
You're
of
talking about
Templar
my
remaining here.
tits,
We're gonna
Valiant
go to an
boy?
interview now with Bisu. Let's see how he's feeling. He's moving on to the round of 16.
Very well deserved.
And that does it for Group D of the round of 24 of ASL Season 19. As we have
Like
our
before
final player
had
advancing
sex
through
with
today.
your
It's Bisu.
girlfriend?
Congratulations. Thank you.
Which girlfriend, Valiant
Is
boy?
this what
Well,
living
well,
hell and
well.
coming
What
back
the
feels
cat
like?
dragged in at Valium. Captain
Watching
Cook
those games, it
Chair!
felt that
Holy
perhaps
shit, bro.
this
It's
was
been
the
forever.
hardest
Welcome,
time
welcome.
you have ever had.
How are
playing
you,
in
good
the round
sir?
of 24.
You playing
How
with
are you doing
titties,
now?
sucking.
Going up against Tyson was a true moment of crisis. It was such a bad game, it made me think, that's it, I've been eliminated. I have no idea how I won that.
Some
And the last game,
boobies!
likewise, wasn't easy.
Like when
I put
you with
myself on
a
the back foot,
girlfriend.
I overbuilt cannons. I turned a favorable position.
Again,
into
I
one that
don't.
was
What do you
winnable
mean,
for
like
Killer.
when you're with a girlfriend?
This was not an easy
Valiant
day for
boy.
me.
That's not hard to understand.
Your fans
Yeah, it is,
were
'cause you don't
causing
need
a
to be your
riot in the
girlfriend
studio with their
to-
cheers.
No,
If
it's
it hadn't been for
dance,
this
Valiant
support,
boy. It's
then perhaps making
you
a
could tell that was a
comeback like you did
Freudian
would
slip.
not have
He
been
knows
easy.
what he's talking about. It's dance.
It felt that regrettably losing to Killer in the first game would
That's
put
an
you in
example.
a sort of handicap. You were late on researching Storm. I have never made such a mistake, not
You
even once.
clit.
That's what I'm saying. Not in practice, not in tournaments. I have no idea why it happened this
Maybe
time.
one day.
I was surprised myself.
Maybe one day. But
Well,
it would have to be
happens
twit
even to
kick
pro players.
specific.
These things happen. The losers match against Tyson was a difficult game that you managed to make a turnaround.
Trying to think of a
in.
word that
You
could
got
be
yourself another
simplified
chance
to
in the
clit.
decider match, but no sooner had you gone for speed shuttle
Hey,
than
suck
started
hair.
losing probes to Dark Templar.
That woman is
That was not
wearing
an easy
too
early game.
many clothes.
The build I
Oh,
originally came with
cuck
was
heart,
Observer
sorry.
into Reaver. I don't
I
know what
agree,
got into
Captain
me that made me
Cuckchair.
start with Reaver. I was like, what's up with these games today? If I had gone Observer, that was an unlosable game.
Your
Having
mom
to
sucked
fight
my
so
hair
hard in a
at
game like that
Valium
is just
boy.
So frustrating for me.
She
I'm
took in the meat
surprised
and the
as to why.
potatoes.
Tyson opted for a hidden base at 5 o'clock. How did you feel when you found that out? I checked the minerals, and he hadn't mined as much, like 200, 300.
More like
So
Valiant
it was
boy,
around the same level as my
bitch.
natural, so I knew as long as I
True,
controlled my
cuck
dragoons
chair.
and Reavers, well, it should be fine, I thought.
I can't say that word.
I could feel the
I
desperation
can't
from your
say
fans as
that
they hoped for you to advance and hoped for you to return to streaming. And seeing how you advanced just by
Homophobic
the
F
skin of your
word.
teeth, you must want to show yourself from a good side.
F word is a bit much, Valiant boy.
There are people expecting this
True.
from me because I was good during the professional days. So I want
If
to
you had
work
done
hard.
like L M
Prepped a lot for
F
today.
word A O, that would have made
Maybe
more
because I
sense. But your
practiced until the morning
LMAO
that
didn't
my
even
condition
make
wasn't good.
sense.
I couldn't sleep much. I will look my.
We
I will
do
look after
respect
myself
your
in the round
mom,
of 16,
Valiant
and
boy. We
I'll try to
wouldn't
do
fuck
well.
someone we don't respect.
And do you have anything to say to your colleagues who likely watched this and cheered for you online?
Oh, sorry, I forgot.
Whether it was on Kakao Talk
How
or
can I
here in
respect someone that
person,
doesn't respect themselves?
people contacted me saying, do well, play well. I know Terror was co-streaming this to cheer for me alongside our
I'm
C9
joking
members.
with you, bro.
There's a university match today as well. So I hope they do well in advance.
It doesn't work on there.
A lot of fans showed up to the studio today, but also the viewers online were expressing they would
Just
like
hurts
to see you
Valiant
advance.
because
And to
I'm
return to
a
streaming, do you have,
forgot.
anything to say to the fans? See you on stream tomorrow.
You're the Alt F4
I guess that's all you
go.
need to say. You're streaming tomorrow? I gotta. But you know, I would stream even if I had lost. Yeah, I took a break because of my health, but I've gotten better now, so I'll work hard again. I'll work hard again starting tomorrow. Wait, tomorrow is April Fool's. You're not joking, right?
Valiant,
what a
you on
coincidence.
PC or mobile?
Nah. See you tomorrow. Got it. Good work, Bisu. Congratulations on advancing once more. Thank you. Thank you. And there you have your second place finisher of today's group.
I'm
in Bisu.
everywhere. Good? Sounds good, Valiant boy.
All right, guys. Great games today, man. Crazy stories coming out of Group D. This group did not disappoint. Yeah, I'm excited
Hell
to get back to
yeah.
it again tomorrow, Artosis.
That's what I'm talking about, Valiant boy.
Yeah, can't wait, man. Like, this is just an amazing season. The games have all been really fantastic. You know, when the light killer game was probably the weakest game so far out of 4 groups.
Try Control W, there's a funny foot emote!
Yeah. So we've got Bisu moving on. We've got Light moving on as well.
If you know,
only
you
one Zerg
know.
Still in the round of 16. Wow.
Don't actually do it though. Don't actually do it, guys. Don't actually do it. You'll literally Alt F4 the stream if you do that. Do not do that. Do not do
ASL
that.
Season 19 because he won season 18.
Viewers drop to 1.
6 Terrans and 5 Protoses.
Yeah, but this can turn around. Queen and Jaedong are good bets to win this next group. Like, they are hands down the favorites. I think that Stork and
Valiant boy
Skye
Twitch,
have
why you want to
shots here.
date me?
Stork
Nah,
is
bro,
always pretty
really?
good.
Are you
And
gay for
Skye
real,
is
or are you
someone
kidding
that
me?
a lot of people won't know, but Skye's really good, man.
You call him Skay? I thought he was S-Key.
S-Key? What? What, is he a Sulky fan? What are you talking about?
I don't know.
No,
I thought it was
that's-
S-Key.
It's
Skay.
Skay.
It's me, Skay.
Skay.
I don't know.
But no, he's
man.
a very
I'm
strong
asking,
Terran player.
bro,
So I think
never
there
judge
are upsets
nobody.
available here, but Queen
If
and
it
Jaedong
is human over 18 and it has a
probably both
pulse,
gonna
I'll
go to the
fuck
next
it.
round. And of coururse, Hero's in that
Boom,
final
sold, cuck
Hero
chair.
has
True.
never gone out in the round
I'm
of
not
24, I
attracted to
believe.
men, but damn, I love the dick, right?
Yeah, I don't
I
believe
mean,
so.
what?
Well, look, he should just get out no matter what, right? We're going to have a couple Zergs, at least 4, I think, in the round of 16. But, yeah, I mean, I'm very excited to
Oh,
see
really?
Skay here
You
today.
single
That's what we're
since a
calling it.
while, too.
I
You
welcome
too.
players that we don't get to see very much of. Stork, I have low
Hell yeah,
expectations for
brother.
him. He seems like right now he's just always going to be good enough
Bam.
to get into this tournament and never good enough to win it. But who knows? Maybe that'll change.
Oh, I feel bad for Stork, but yeah, he is.
3
he is
years
kind of
single,
at
my
that
hand
level
is
where he
fed
puts
up
on
with
great
me.
games sometimes, but you never feel like Stork's making his run. Well, last season actually, I did
True.
feel like that a little bit because his PVT was so good.
True.
But this isn't a group where that'll probably help him.
Well, guys, that's all the time we have today. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, if you haven't already, please go to the Patreon, sign up, and give us your support. We love
Talks,
you,
if
and we
there
will
was a
see you
wall of
tomorrow with the
9-inch
next group.
penis
Bye-bye.
models, would you choke on any? No. Probably not. That's because you're a pro? I mean, what's like... Like pinky to pinky? Pro cuck chair, broski, bisexual, straight, gay. You wouldn't choke on them because you're a pro. Exactly. Because I know what I'm doing. Because I do it. I mean, what? My bro got me with that the other day. Really, I'm serious. Not playing, I swear. Okay, well, we're just gonna be lazy as fuck because I wanted to watch this because it seemed cool. So here we go.
They made the argument in the past that World War I changed the world more than World War II. Yes, World War II killed more people and set up a Cold War that would dominate geopolitics for the next 50 years, but World War I ended the domination of multiple empires that had lasted for hundreds of years.
World War I was the most, the amount of technology that advanced during World War I was insane. We started the war with cavalry, and we ended the war with airplanes and tanks. In a, 6-year period between 1914 and 1919? I was close. 14 to technically 19 because I knew it ended on the 11th of November. But I wasn't sure if it was 1918 or 1919. So yeah. Basically 4.5 years. All because of an assassination. Only war, the French weren't completely useless. World War I was the event that transformed the world from monarchistic to aristocratic rule to democratic rule. Yeah, pretty much. Huge evolution as far as humans go in such a short period of time and for such a horrendous reason. But progress always requires sacrifice.
And it set up a new regime of democratic nation states that so disrupted the world order that it led to a second world war just to sort things out.
Yeah.
It also led to this. This is Jocelyn Wildenstein, a Swiss socialite who was known for her addiction to plastic surgery. By the 1990s,
that was specifically the U.S.'s goal for entering the war. Also not an evolution, it was a major step backwards. I just mean technology. Like an evolution of technology. What the fuck is that jump scare? That's a real person. You didn't know of this person? Pretty sure she's in the Book of Guinness World Records.
90s, she'd had so many facial reconstructions that she took on the appearance of a cat, leading the tabloids to dub her the Catwoman. And she was in the tabloids a lot. She married a billionaire art dealer named Alec Wildenstein and was a fixture of New York's high society.
Mean the democracy thing. I just got done reading Democracy, the God That Failed, so that's where my mindset is at. Ah, I see. Cockchair bro, please, can we talk seriously? You said you are gay. Is this real? Or are you kidding me? Because if it's the truth, you got balls to saying that. I don't know why, Valium boy. I've clearly stated that I'm bi and I'm a crossdresser. If you're in this stream, you have to have at least a equalizing neutral plus mindset towards something like that. You generally need balls to be gay, yes. No, you don't need balls to be gay. You could be a woman and be gay. It's just they have their own word. How special are women? They get their own word. They get to be gay, which means, and if they're a woman, they're also a lesbian. If you're a dude, you're just gay. You don't get a special word. It's fucking bullshit. There should be a special word. You know? Like, we should make a movement to make up, a special word for, gay guys. Right? And we should call them,
What's bullshit?
Oh, bisexual or homo, 100%. It's bullshit that we've got a word, but you told Valium off for saying it. Well, no, because that's not that's... I mean, okay, but you could also call a lesbian. It's still the homophobic F word. It's still technically a bundle of sticks if you want dictionaries. It is definitely funnier to keep ignoring value of this. True, Cuck Chair. True. It is quite funny. He gets really pushy sometimes. But yeah, no, we don't have a positive, empowering word for male gaze. I don't know. We should come up with a word. I'm gonna Google this and I'm gonna ask. You know what? We're doing this right now, guys. We're gonna go to Grok, and we're gonna ask Grok. Hey, dude, I just had a realization about gay people. Why do female gay people get to be called lesbians and gay, but gay dudes only get to be called gay? We don't get our own word. Why is that? It feels so bad, man. Like but word to all about hi, you know the rest. Gay guys also have a lot more words for gay archetypes, so that's neat. That's me who add ban words like that because for respect each other. Arse bandits? I don't know. Hey man, I feel you on that one. It's like the language is playing favorites, right? The word lesbian does have a specific vibe tied back to the Greek island of Lesbos, where poet Sappho wrote all that steamy love poetry about women. So historically, it's been a way to name women loving women, and it stuck. Dudes, though, gay, just kind of became a catch-all term for guys into guys. Maybe because it was already floating around as slang for happy before it shifted meaning homosexuality in the 20th century. No cool island origin story for us, sadly. You're right, though. It's uneven. There's no slick standalone word for gay men that's got the same cultural weight as lesbian. Some folks use queer, homosexual interchangeably, but they're broader. Maybe we need to invent something fresh. Any ideas? What would you call if you got to pick? What would I call it?
I am not here to hurt someone, and you Alriki all know that.
Imagine being a Roman emperor and just having Greek femboys on tap. Hell yeah, Captain Cuck Chair.
Cuckhair said I heard him when I said FA, etc., so I don't know if it's real or fake.
No worries, Valiant boy. You don't have to go deep into it. You can just chill.
I am confused.
I don't know, man. I have like 12 ideas. I don't think any of them are any really good. Okay, this is the best one I can get. This is deep, guys. No, just Cuckhair didn't respond to me. I try to understand. What do you guys think of Frulian? Frulian? Dude, I kind of love it. It's got a ring to it. Tying it to fruity or fruit is a slick move, too. Those terms have been around forever as playful slang for gay folks, sometimes as an insult, but we've pretty much reclaimed them at this point. Frulian feels like it could be our word. Light fun and with a nod to that history without being too serious. I can already picture it catching on at a bar or a group chat. What made you land on that one? Got any other bits on it? What do you guys think? But the F word is kind of lame, to be honest. Well, why didn't explain me that before? I mean, it's like, we can say a lot of other words, like Nazi, but we can't say the homophobic F word on Twitch, Valiant Boy. So you are correct, there are things that we can't say on Twitch. I don't know if you can say it on Kick or not, but I know you can't say it on Twitch. But yeah, what do you guys think of Frulian? So we got lesbians and Frulians.
That's a mistake.
All my gay friends on Facebook are actually fine being called the banned word. Yeah, but I mean, it's something that's like... I don't mind it either. Like, I think it's stupid that the word is banned in such a way. You know? Like, I think that's just absolutely stupid. But it does have, like, a negative connotation to it. But then again, I guess this does as well. So, I mean, if people want to be called that, then we can all be called it. Yeah. That's the problem with democracy, too, right? That's why it's like, I find the best way is instead of compromising, or the best compromise between two things is to pick neither of them. And pick a third option. If I can't choose between two things, I'll just pick something else. So why I add banned words? Valiant Boy, did you add banned words? I'm gonna actually look and see if you've added banned words. I mean, it doesn't say in here that you've done anything. So, I don't know, actually. How do I look at that? Is that in settings?
I will see. DW bro fine.
I have no idea where to find it. Valium is a fruitling for respect. And you pointing me, bro, I'm like that. Heck, you feel me? I will see. Don't worry, bro, fine. I don't know. I just want to know where the banned words are. Like, where is that in here? I have no idea. Couldn't tell
Bro,
you.
IMCHECHKING me, I know.
Okay. Okay, Valiant Boy.
In the 80s and 90s. They had a pretty nasty divorce in 1999 when she caught him in bed with a 21-year-old Russian model, and at one point he apparently pulled a gun on her. Swell guy. But she got her revenge, getting $2.5 billion in the divorce, and still managed to go bankrupt by 2018.
Damn.
She lived in
Mode queued panel 3
extravagant life.
C block terms.
And no, she didn't spend all that money on plastic surgery, but she did spend millions over the years. We may never know exactly what demons drove her to do this to herself, but people get plastic surgery for all kinds of reasons, often have nothing whatsoever to do with vanity. Like people with disfigurements, it actually gives them a chance to just live a normal life without people staring at them everywhere they go. Which brings me back to World War I. World War I was the first fully mechanized war, which led to trench warfare. And in trench warfare, the part of your body that's exposed the most is your head and the face that's on it. So anytime you got to shoot at the enemy, you've got to lift your head up above the trench, which makes you a target. Or even if you just want to stretch your legs, you're now exposed. But even if you stay hunched down, if a large enough caliber bullet hits the ridge up here, then pieces of wood and dirt and debris will fly in your face. Any mortar shells that land over there is going to throw shrapnel right at your face. And don't even get me started on incendiary devices and chemical weapons like mustard gas. The point is, because of this, tens of thousands of World War I vets went home with horrifying facial disfigurements, which required a whole new type of surgery. Although it wasn't entirely new. In 1862, an American Egyptologist named Edwin Smith bought an ancient papyrus that was written in hieratic script, which is kind of like a cursive form of hieroglyphics, and it turned out this was like kind of a medical textbook for treating war injuries. And some of these injuries included head and face injuries. In fact, it had instructions on how to rebuild a nose, and it was thought they were doing this as far back as 6000 BCE. There's also evidence this was being done in India too, and that they were actually doing skin grafts by 800 BCE. The Romans had records of reconstructive surgery between 100 BCE and the 5th century AD, with some texts describing how to repair damaged ears. There's also a medical writer at the time named Aulus Cornelius Celsus who described using skin from other parts of the body to repair injuries, kind of like a skin graft. Now, these were mostly to repair war wounds, not necessarily to improve one's looks. The first cleft palate operation was done in the United States in 1827 by Dr. John Peter Metalier, who now is known as America's first plastic surgeon. They didn't call him that at the time, though, because plastic wasn't a thing yet. Also, can you imagine getting a cleft palate operation with no anesthesia?
Ooh.
And the first tummy tuck was performed in France in 1890. So yes, there was reconstructive surgery going all the way back. There was also body modification, which is kind of a different thing. Many cultures engaged in that, like the skull deforming of the Inca and the Maya, or the Chinese practice of foot binding. And you could make the argument that this is analogous to plastic surgery, in the sense that it was people, changing themselves to fit a culturally agreed upon beauty standard of the time.
There are no terms that are blocked.
That's not really what we're talking about here, though. In professional parlance, plastic surgery is used to describe a broad range of procedures that are done to
Thanks, Levi, by the way.
change a person's body, either for aesthetic or corrective reasons. So yeah, cosmetic and reconstructive procedures both fall under the term plastic surgery. But really, when you hear plastic surgery, most people think of cosmetic procedures, things like
add all ban words like hate spreading. No!
According to a 2020 study, around 16
Valiant Boy. The reason why we don't ban any words is because if they happen to show up in a story that someone's writing, and if someone says those, we convert them.
That's normal?
If it's like, just don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it.
15 million cosmetic surgeries are done in the U.S. every year. I did the math. That's 4.7% of the population. Although, I'm sure some people get multiple.
Don't delete anything, Valiant Boy. Just chill.
Right.
Just chill.
And some of the most popular procedures are facelifts, eyelid surgery, and nose jobs. Which kind of makes sense. Our faces are kind of our calling card. It's what people first look at. It's what we identify with. It's what people picture when they think of you.
Yeah, there's no banned words.
Let's just be honest with ourselves.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure.
Looks matter. I'm not just talking about in dating.
Valiant's mom gave me a nose job.
Professionally as well. People who are considered more attractive are more likely to get hired for jobs and
make
higher salaries. Even in the court system, more attractive people pay lower bail and get shorter jail sentences. And by the way, it's not just adults.
Don't just mess with the banned words anymore and things should be good.
Even babies have been shown to have a preference, specifically for people
so I don't know the goal for banned words. There are none!
I talked before about uncanny
period.
How we really are just like hardwired for faces. And there's just something in our lizard brains
she swiped my cheeks with her nose like a credit card.
That don't look right. And it is very much a lizard brain thing. A neuroimaging study from 2019 showed that people have implicit negative biases against people with disfigured faces. without even knowing that they harbor these biases. It showed diminished neuroresponses in our anterior cingulate cortex, which basically shows that we're just inherently less empathetic toward people with disfigurements.
True.
I mean, there's a reason why villains in movies are often portrayed with facial injuries or deformities. It's like a cheat code to our lizard brains.
The only
instantly makes us
racism that's
more
allowed is
distrustful or
anti-French
fearful
and
of that
Italian,
character.
okay?
Of course, it's not always about looks, personality.
The only racism allowed is
One of the things that people are most
jokes.
attracted to in
If
personalities
you can
is
joke
confidence.
about it, just don't be
People with more attractive
serious.
faces tend to
Because it's
project more confidence.
the easiest
That's
way to
partly
get
because
rid of
how we
racism is to
perceive
turn it into a
attractive
joke
faces,
to show
but it's
everyone
also
that it
partly
is a
because they
joke.
generally have
There's
more
no
confidence
reason to
because
actually
they've always
take
had a
it
little bit of an
seriously.
advantage, and that confidence itself is
Just
even
look at
more
it and go,
attractive.
well, that's
So
interesting.
people
Okay.
with, let's use the term
You know.
abnormal facial features,
Yep.
tend to have a bit of a disadvantage.
Large
socially.
eyes popping out of their
Doesn't
heads.
mean they can't overcome them. Just they do have to work a little bit harder than others.
Yeah,
And
man.
just one more thing to kind of drive this point home.
I mean, look at me, guys. I look like a fucking freak. Like, I make Asmon look good, right? So at the point, if the channel becomes like super big, then it will be an issue. If I have more than like 150 viewers, then it might be an issue. But even then, I'm trying to hope that I culminate a very accepting but eccentrically over the top community. Right?
There's some photos of World War I vets that I want to show in this video, but I probably can't because I might get demonetized for using shocking imagery. That's how strongly we enforce our facial standards. So at the end of World War I, we have these thousands of soldiers coming home with extreme facial disfigurements like we'd never seen in any war previously.
That is how I
And
describe you, bro.
Like we tend to
Facts.
do in society,
True.
instead of welcoming them as heroes, they were often treated as pariahs. Like imagine giving that much for your country and carrying with you all the physical and mental
talks
trauma that
president.
comes along with that, only to have like
president.
children cry at the sight of you and women gasp.
I'm not American.
Like you're some kind of monster.
President for
example, there was a
what?
town in England that
Canada
set aside
doesn't
some
have a
white benches
president.
and painted them
We
blue
have a prime minister.
specifically for disfigured veterans to sit on. And that blue was like a code for everybody
And
else
Eggy
to
is
warn
White
them
House.
that somebody sitting there might be too uncomfortable to look at. But what's really more upsetting is the fact that some of the people who are the most
And
horrified
Eggy
to
as
look
White
at these
House.
soldiers were the soldiers themselves. Like a lot of hospital wards would actually ban mirrors so that the patients couldn't see themselves and go into shock. As American surgeon Dr. Fred Albee said, quote,
Maybe encouraging
"It is a
Valium
fairly
on
common
Twitch was a
experience for the
mistake.
maladjusted person to feel like a stranger to his world.
I
It must be
think
an
that's his
unmitigated
plan,
hell to feel like a
Eggy
stranger
Mayo.
to yourself." It was clear that
To
something needed to be
make
done
us
so that
get
these men
him
could feel
kicked
like
off
their normal selves
Twitch.
again. And one of those things was masks. Anna Coleman Ladd was a successful sculptor who had solo exhibitions in New York, D.C., and Philadelphia between 1907 and 1915. In 1917, she and her husband moved to France, and that's where she learned about Francis Derwent Wood, who made face masks at his Ten Noses shop, also known as the Masks for Facial Disfigurement Department. Wood was a British sculptor who had worked on World War I soldiers to help them to kind of regain a sense of normalcy with their disfigured faces. The men were able to get jobs, be with their families, and just kind of feel like they were part of society again. As he told The Lancet in 1917, quote, "My work begins where the work of the surgeon is completed. When the surgeon has done all he can to restore functions, I endeavored by means of the skill that I happen to possess as a sculptor to make a man's face as near as possible to what it looked like before he was
Why?
born."
It
He would
hurts
create
me?
the mask by first making a plaster cast of the person's face, and then he would use clay or plasticine to kind of reshape what the healed face would
Who
look like
hurt
with its missing
you?
features.
Valium
The
boy.
final cast was actually made from a thin sheet of copper that was actually 1/32 of an inch thick, and it was coated in silver and painted a cream color and then topped with varnish for complexion.
That one
He
didn't
then
work.
matched the face's contours, pigmentation, and texture to match the patient's skin, and if, say, an eye was missing, he might even just paint it directly on the mask. He'd also paint eyebrows on the
True,
mask.
brother.
He would actually use
True.
thin metallic foil that he would cut into strips and tint it and curl it and then soldered it into place. Keep in mind, this was kind of before plastic. But the masks weren't comfortable. I mean, they were made out of metal. And the men had kind of a love-hate relationship with them. You know, it kind of gave them a little bit more autonomy in the world, but it would also...
Like
it was
a
also kind of
corset.
a painful reminder of what they used to look like. But Ladd was inspired by Wood's work. So she met with the American Red Cross and convinced
Eggy
them that she
Mayo.
could do
Maybe
the same
encouraging
thing for
Valium on
Americans.
Twitch was
So
a mistake.
They helped her open up her own place called the Studio for Portrait Masks. In
True,
1950.
Valium
From the
boy.
beginning, Ladd's studio was
You're
meant to be a
going,
warm and inviting
you're
place.
going hard,
She and her
bro. But
assistants
that's
would joke
okay. You're
around with
god
men,
of the
trying to make them feel
stream.
at home.
You're
And
allowed
she
to do
said,
what you
quote,
want.
"They were never treated as though anything were the matter with them. We'd laugh with them, help them to forget. This is what they longed for and deeply appreciated. Like
True.
Wood, she made the masks out of copper and silver, and she painted them while the patients were wearing them so she could match the skin colors correctly. She often used glasses, like fake glasses, to keep the masks in place, but
I'm struggling with jokes. It's okay, Valiant Boy. We know there's a language barrier.
The whole process took about a month to complete, and the mask was considered successful when a patient could walk down a street in Paris without being noticed. By the end of 1919, she'd created around 185
Understand
masks,
trying to
and
not hurt
she basically
people that I
donated
love
her
the
creative
most.
services. She just
Yes,
charged
Valiant Boy, but if you
for each mask.
if you're
That's
in this
about
community,
375.
it's probably really
Once the
hard
war
to
ended,
hurt
the
you
Red Cross couldn't afford
because
to cover
you've
studio
passed
anymore,
the
so
test
she closed shop.
of
She went back
being
to the US, where
able
she
to
lived her
deal
life as
with
until she died at age
my
60 in
shit.
1939. While the mask did offer some
Because
sense of
if you
normalcy
can't
to the
handle my
soldiers, there were
shit,
some limitations.
then I really don't
The
want
one
you in
thing
my
that remained
stream.
was super thin copper
Because
and
I
plastic
talk about
masks. They were
very
really
fucked up
easily
topics.
damaged
And what are we
basically show
talking about
signs of
now?
wear and tear. They were also
Disfigurement
static,
and shit.
you know, it didn't
So it's
really
like if this
restore
kind of
patients'
stuff
function.
bothers you, this is
They
not the
also
stream
only
for
covered
you.
the damaged areas of a patient's face, like the
But if
eye,
you love
chin,
this kind
mouth,
of shit,
nose.
welcome.
So even with a good
Welcome.
paint job, you could still kind of tell the person was wearing a mask. And of course, the men would age over time, but the masks didn't. So yeah, over time, the difference in the texture between
I just had a thought. It kind of brings a whole new meaning to like the mask from like Phantom of the Opera. I don't know. I just have this like imagery of that going through my head of like an entirely different idea of a mask.
would become too noticeable. Not to mention that they were
because it's a
painted
burn
and
victim,
paint would
right?
Sometimes flake off, revealing
So
a
last
metal face
message,
underneath.
I go nothing to prove to everyone. I know who I am, my friends, my family, and you all already knows too that I am here to joking, add laugh, make the stream cool. True brother, give me your oaks, brother. Oats.
I thought you were going to say The Mask with Jim Carrey. No, not so much. But that is a funny thought.
That kind of sounds like it.
That the metaphor for like being disfigured and then putting on the mask and like basically unleashing your inner self and allowing yourself to like go back into society, that's actually a really powerful metaphor.
Coming at you this Sunday at the Poughkeepsie Civic Center, Tokamak and Stellarator featuring Metalface on the...
No, Valiant Boy, keep engaging, keep contributing, keep doing what you're doing. Okay? Because I'm just from here on out just gonna pretend you are the meta troll. And everyone treat Valiant Boy as if he is the meta troll. Because he is God and he can do what he wants.
Stadium Tour! All your favorite face-melting metal bands commemorated in one epic t-shirt. Bloodfall, Nocturnal Death Syndrome, and Win.
Okay, so we
With all the
forgot that.
dates and all the places, all the one places. The most brutal shirt for the most brutal band. So hot, it's radioactive. This is a limited time run, so get yours before it melts into oblivion. Buy now on LastSmarter.com. Stadium Tour!
Seriously, this is a real shirt. You can go buy it. It was designed by an actual metal band artist. It's a really soft shirt. It's easily the most awesome merch we've ever created. So go to LaughSmarter.com. There's a link down below or scan the QR code. Go check it out. It's only for a limited time. Go get it. Anyway, the masks helped, but they had some drawbacks. They weren't like a permanent solution. And this is where Dr. Harold Gillies comes in. Gillies studied medicine in England and specialized in ear, nose, and throat surgery before the war, and then he served during the war in the Royal Army Medical Corps. It was there that he met a French surgeon named Hippolyte Moristan. There's
Eggy's
no
mom
way
waiting
I'm
me
saying that
after
name
we
right.
need to talk about his education.
Hippolyte?
Damn!
Anyway, Dr. Moristan.
He got you
He's
there.
the French Army's expert in like face and
I'll
jaw
take a toke
injuries,
to that.
And Gillies was impressed with what he was able to do, not to just repair the soldiers' faces, but to also reconstruct them. And then, you know, how much it improved those soldiers' lives. And he realized that he was kind of in a unique position with his background in, like, you know, ear, nose, and throat surgeries, that was maybe something that he could bring for the British Army. So he convinced the Army that there was a need for this kind of special reconstructive care. And they agreed. They put up a unit under his command in the Queen Mary's Hospital in Sidcup, England. There he led a team of surgeons, nurses, and artists to help find permanent solutions for these soldiers. And they got super creative and came up with pioneering techniques that are still in use today. They took skin and cartilage from other parts of the body and built up areas that were missing tissue. He even used a patient's rib bone to create jaws and lobes and other structures of the face. Perhaps most famously, he helped come up with the tube pedicle, which is kind of gnarly to look at, but it's cool. So a skin graft is obviously when you transfer skin from one part of the body to another, but the problem with skin grafts is getting the blood vessels to connect to the new tissue, because if you don't, that tissue just dies, and now you've just got a patch of rotten skin.
You right, I am trying to laughing with you.
But with a tube pedicle, instead of just slicing off a chunk of skin to graft, you actually cut away a flap of skin, leaving one end of the flap connected to the original source of blood.
And then you graft it. Well, it's still connected.
That way, grafted skin can maintain blood flow while it's connecting to the blood vessels in the graft site.
After doing a cataclysm
Takes a few weeks, but
LMAO.
once it's established, you just snip the other end of the graft, and now you can use that skin to fix the spot that you're working on.
Yeah.
This has a way higher success rate, and it cuts down drastically on infections. Tube pedicles are used all the time in plastic surgery today. It was an absolute game changer, and it all started with Dr. Gilly's treatment of World War I.
Surgery be wild.
After the war, he practiced plastic surgery exclusively, and it actually got him a lot of criticism.
Think about this. At this time, I'm pretty sure it's not as prominent as like for this time. It was more like 1850s, but like doctors not washing their hands and stuff. So by this time it was pretty. This is like 1920 because it's after the war, right?
Please say yes, yes, yes.
No, Valiant boy, this is the end of the stream. But guys, guess what, guys? Tomorrow is gonna be a 10 to 12 hour stream. We are gonna go as hard as fuck tomorrow. I have plans for tomorrow, so let's hold on to tomorrow. Okay, guys? Thanks, guys. You're all good boys. Thanks. Makes me think of Family Guy joke. Would you rather have a message from a massage from a gay masseuse or surgery from a black female surgeon?
Oh fuck, I didn't saw the video was talking about WW1. I am so dumb.
How did you not know it was talking about World War I?
Cosmetic surgery was kind of considered frivolous, and
that's where all the injuries came from.
He argued that no, it is important work, you know, and it requires craft and skill, and it genuinely improves.
And this is like the idea: as long as you learn something from it, it's not a mistake. The fact that it incrementally gay masseuse easy. I don't need surgery. Levi. True.
And I think it's safe to say that time has proven him right. You know, an entire industry grew up around his work that now is worth tens of billions of dollars. And while plastic surgery might still be something that people kind of scoff at a little bit, the fact of the matter is...
well, my grandpa had skin cancer, and he had, like, 3/4 of his face, bits and pieces of his arms and legs. Like, he was pretty much more patches of skin than he was real skin by the time he died. So, I've seen firsthand the process of going through, like, having skin grafts and stuff like that. I had to get penis reduction surgery because the women said it was too chonky. Eggy Mayo, they just didn't have big enough, you know, gullets. That's sad, bruh. Poor French soldier who died from our liberty and freedom. If only they can see what this country became. There's fighting for another country. I mean, that's how the world works, man. It just changes all the time. Not much you can do about it.
At some point. You know, as we are living longer, our skin is going to start doing some pretty unfortunate stuff, and that unfortunate stuff is going to have to be taken off. Hell, I had minor skin cancer surgery about 10 years ago, like right up here, and yeah, it required a little bit of reconstruction to make it so you can't see it anymore. So, yeah. And it probably won't be the last, unfortunately. But I mean, even plastic surgery that's done just to enhance your attractiveness, that has its place. It has a positive mental health benefit. There are many studies that show that people who undergo plastic surgery, like Botox, breast augmentation, rhinoplasty, that kind of thing, they are more satisfied with their lives, even up to 5 years after their surgeries. Of course, there is a flip side to that. There are some people that have, negative feelings about their situation after their operations, from everything from post-operative complications, the way it's
Nobody
changed their
cares for
relationships,
humanity
and of course,
today.
there's body
It's a big
dysmorphia
sad
disorder
fact.
issues.
Hey man, I'm here. You're looking at the cup half empty, bro. No matter, there's never gonna be like a time where there's no strife and no problem. So you just have to look at like what is the average, and the average person today is way better off than they ever were, ever.
There are always going to be people who take it too far, but they deserve our empathy, not our derision. Which brings me back to Jocelyn Wildenstein, who I actually found out while I was researching this video. She actually just passed away in December, so yeah.
Plastic surgery isn't a panacea for self-image
So,
problems,
alright, let's
but there's
talking
nothing
about fun
inherently
facts.
wrong with the practice. So alright, let's run... Hey man, my dad had one of the first, like, experimental hair surgeries in Vancouver. With the doctor who's, like, I believe still currently the leading hair
Like the
transplant
moment when we meet me
doctor.
and Eggy's mama that was so beautiful X.
And he literally was bald, and now he has a full head of hair. He'll soon have more hair than I do. And yeah. And then my friend Josh, who has cerebral palsy, he had like an experimental surgery on his legs to reform his muscles so he could walk. And it's like total, like they literally had to detach all of his muscles, stretch them out physically, and then reattach them. Panacea means a cure for all problems. It's an old Greek word. Am I pronouncing it right? No, he was like 6, 7, or 8 at the time. Like, he was really young. This was like pre-2000s. Panacea. Emphasis on the C. Panacea. 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 Huh? Yeah. I actually talked to him like last week. Talking to him about the stream. It was a good old time. But yeah.
R.I.P. Jocelyn.
He might be in a wheelchair when he's like 50 instead
I'll
of when
avoid
he's
making a
like
joke about her having
90, but he's not gonna die.
And this is
Like
total
emphasis
speculation.
fairly
Sorry
balanced
for you,
between
bro, big
fan and
hug.
The
C.
glut of disfigured soldiers kind of contributed to the
I'm not the one who had to go through it.
Suddenly
He
didn't
did.
seem so cool to exploit people with disfigurements anymore. Because once upon a time, these guys would have been put on a stage and gawked at as like the man with the inside-out face. Although
I
some
just
of the
have
time would have made the
seizures.
argument that the sideshow was a good thing for them because it allowed them to, make a living in a world that otherwise would have shunned them. It's an interesting topic. It's a subject I've always been curious about, the whole human oddities thing, which is why I included an episode on that in my Mysteries of the Human Body series over on Nebula. If you haven't seen it, it's a 6-part series on, mysteries of the human body, from human oddities to rare and unusual diseases, unexplained plagues, and even the mystery of why we age and die. Not to freak you out, but there's still a lot we don't know about this. We shot it a few years back. I've always been super proud of it. We had a professional set built for it. We had higher-end graphics
My
than
bro
you're used to
almost
seeing
passed
here.
away after drinking
like,
too
if
much
you ever
alcohol.
kinda
I will
wondered,
never forget
what would
this
Joe
moment.
be like if he was, better? Well, there's your answer. Which is kind of the whole point.
That
of
sucks.
Nebula. It's a
I
streaming
smashed a
service
girl's
designed for
head into a
creators
wall
like me,
once.
where we can upload our videos uncensored and ad-free, and it allows us to experiment with bigger and better productions, free of all the restrictions we all have on YouTube. Yeah, I probably had to fuzz out a few pictures on this video. The Nebula version is defuzzed. It's not just me. There are a couple hundred thoughtful and fun creators doing the same thing, like.
So this will be the bedtime story for the stream. So there's this chick, this fucking hoe, dumbass fucking hoe, and my parents were away, and my brother, and this is like 4 days in a row of like partying because my parents were away for a week. So, and my brother was like, no partying today, and we're like, yeah, fuck that. So there's this chick, and she's trying to leave the party, and I'm trying to get her a taxi, and she has to go to the washroom, so I basically take her to the washroom because she can't fucking stand. And then, yeah, she stood up and fell like backwards into the tile of the shower because the toilet was right beside the shower. So just smashed her head, and there's blood everywhere. So I'm freaking out, like holding her head, screaming at my friend to call an ambulance. Everyone's like, no, don't call an ambulance. And I'm like, Roxy, call a fucking ambulance. And, yeah. It was fucking crazy. And then my other buddy picks me up. So my hands are covered in blood, right? And he picks me up, because he's like a bigger guy. And he picks me up like from underneath my arms and carries me out. So there's these bloody handprints all over the fucking wall. Right? Like, it was basically like, leave bathroom, turn, go like 5 feet, turn again, go like 6 feet, and then that was my room. And it's like these like dragging hand marks on the wall of like blood. So the cops arrive, right? Obviously. So I'm sitting there, we're in my room, because I have a sliding screen glass door, or I had at my old house, into my room. And so we're all standing there, and we're all like 21, 22, right? But there are underage kids here, so we got them upstairs and like out of sight, right? And we're explaining to the cops why there's blood on the wall, and why there's bloody handprints on the wall. And this looks like a fucking murder scene. And we're all laughing our asses off explaining this story. And I'm like showing him my hands. My hands are the hands that are covered in blood. And so he looks over, and there's a bucket of like ice cream, right? And it's got like a little tiny line along the edge of like 2-day-old ice cream. So it's like solidified and hardened, right? And this cop looks over at it and goes, "What the fuck is that?" And me and my friends look over and we're like, "That's fucking ice cream, bro." Because he thought it was cocaine. This fucking ice cream. Oh, that was a good time. That was a good night. We had some good times back in the day. But, Teams call with my boss. Why? What's up, Valley? Why do you feel... You shouldn't feel bad, Valiant Boy. Don't feel bad, Valiant Boy. But guys, remember. Thanks so much for watching. Tomorrow is going to be an epic day. We have plans for tomorrow. So, remember, as always, if you can't say fuck you to your friends, who can you say fuck you to? Fuck you! Alright. Alright, boys, let's find someone to raid up in this bitch. But tomorrow's going to be epic stream, so tune in tomorrow for epicness. The true epicness that is greatness. You will see that it is tomorrow that we be, for sure. Here we go, guys. Are you ready? Are you guys fucking ready for this shit? This shit is gonna be so fucking intense, you have no absolute fuck no idea. You have fuck no absolute fuck no I fucking idea how fucking great this is.
Fuck you. Big hug talks, love you all.
Attack the muffin now! While he's on the road!